This meeting is being recorded.
Are we ready?
Just a moment. I'm just allowing for the attendees for the software to give them access in.
All right.
We did make some adjustments to the final agenda on yesterday due to compliance. So we'll just call those items into record. I do see some names that are registered or signed in today that I do believe I don't know if did we make contact with everyone yesterday, Pilar?
Yesterday and this morning, I sent emails and I called customers.
All right, Special Magistrate, where is the police officer here, Pilar, for the pledge? All right, we're ready to begin.
Okay, good morning, everybody. This is a code enforcement hearing for the city of North Miami. Today is August 19th, 2021, and I am Jose Smith, a special magistrate for the city of North Miami. The special magistrate is under the laws of the state of Florida and the North Miami Code to hold code violation hearings. The purpose of this hearing is to determine if a code violation exists on your property as observed and cited by a code enforcement officer of the city. If the city is unable to prove the case, then I will dismiss it and you may leave. These proceedings are being recorded, so all persons who are going to be speaking should do so one at a time to ensure that all of the testimony is clearly audible on the recording device. To the fact that we're doing a Zoom meeting, I'd like everyone, if possible, to spell your last name, unless your name is Smith or Jones, in which case you don't have to. If English is not your primary language, then please inform me when I call your case. We do have interpreters to assist you during these proceedings. When your case is called, the property owner, agent for the property owner, and any witnesses that you may have are welcome to come forward. Please speak directly into the microphone and say aloud your name, your business, your mailing address, and your relationship to the property. If you are not the property owner or an attorney representing the property owner, then you must present a notarized power of attorney or a affidavit in order for your testimony to be taken on you in order to resolve the violation. Please answer the questions accordingly. The city will present its case first, and then the property owner or violator will be given an opportunity to testify on their own behalf. You can bring witnesses to testify, you can present evidence, photographs, and you're also entitled to cross-examine the city's witnesses. Following the case presentation, I will issue findings of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of city codes exists or existed at your property, then depending on the case, I will make compliant for the violation to be resolved. Or for repeat violations, I will impose a daily fine amount. For new non-repeat, excuse me. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn off my phone. Following the case presentation, I will issue a finding of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of city codes exists or existed at your property, then depending on the case type, I will set an abatement or compliance date for the violation to be resolved. Or for repeat violations, I will impose a daily fine amount. For new, non-repeat cases, my order will include an abatement date by which you must resolve the violation and a daily fine amount that I may impose at a future hearing date should the violation not be remedied. If I find sufficient cause to postpone the enforcement action at this time, I will table or continue the case proceeding to another hearing date in the future. If you do not agree with my findings of fact and or ruling, then the property owner may appeal my administrative order on the case to the circuit court. An appeal must be filed within 30 days of the date of the execution of the administrative order to be appealed. In accordance with Florida law, if a person decides to appeal any decision made by the special magistrate with respect to any matter considered in these proceedings, then the person will verbatim transcript of the proceedings. This record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The cost of obtaining the verbatim record shall be the sole responsibility of the appellant. And it is recommended that persons who plan to appeal their case should provide their own court reporter at these proceedings. Pursuant to city codes, the City of North Miami, if the City of North Miami prevails in prosecuting a case before the special magistrate, the city shall be entitled to recover all costs incurred in prosecuting the case. The current cost assessment amount is $100 per case. Once the city records an order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien against the property, then the city will charge additional administrative fees to record and release the lien. So having said all of that, who is going to, do we administer the oath now or do we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
The clerk is going to go ahead and read the virtual instructions, and then we'll do the pledge and the swearing.
Very well. Proceed.
Good morning, and thank you for participating in today's special magistrate hearing. I will review the process by which today's hearing will be conducted. Make sure your device is muted at all times unless you're giving testimony on a case. If you're using two devices to participate in today's hearing, be sure your audio is only enabled on one device. If you registered in advance of today's hearing, your case will be given priority. When your case is called, your system will receive a notification that it has been given access to audio and video so that you may give your testimony. If you did not register in advance and you would like to speak on behalf of a case, when your case is called, I will ask whether there is anyone present on behalf of the property. If you want to speak, please click the raise hand button to be given the ability to speak on the case. Once the magistrate allows you to give testimony on your case, please state your name, property address, and relationship to the property. We can swear in the translators and city staff.
Can we do the Pledge of Allegiance first? Pilar's computer is on mute.
Please start over, please. I'm sorry. To the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we can swear in the translators at this moment?
Go ahead.
Give us 1 second. Okay, there go the translators.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the translations which you are about to give in proceedings will be accurate and correct to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Please say I do.
I do.
I do.
And we can swear in the code officers at this moment? Hold on one second. We still need to.
You guys may sit.
Okay, they're there.
Now, if you are giving testimony today on a case, please rise and raise your right hand as I do the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Special Magistrate,
Madam Clerk?
just for reference, we do have some people in the queue virtually. However, we do have a couple of people here physically at our office who don't have access to computers that we will be calling their cases first. So the agenda will be called a little bit out of order, just for reference.
Okay. Is this the time when the clerk announces any additions, corrections, or deletions, or do we wait until the case is called?
Clerk?
There are no amendments to the agenda, sir. We can move into our new business.
Okay. Is the first case ready to be called? Are we going to go
Yes.
with number one?
It's going to be item number 13 on the agenda.
Item 13. Okay. All right. Is that 941 Northeast 141st Street?
It's going to be Jean D. Marcellus and wife Marie. The case number is CEBPR 2021-00024. The property is 941 Northeast 141 Street. The officer for this case is going to be Vanessa Willis.
Is this the public computer, Pilar?
Yes, it is.
The video and the audio is not on that computer.
Okay.
Okay, I want to make sure that I have the right case. On both the published agenda and the agenda that I received yesterday, item 13 is 941 Northeast 141st Street. Is that the correct case?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. All right, are we ready to proceed? Is the city ready?
Hold on. Yes, the code officer.
In translation.
Go ahead, Vanessa.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This case was opened on May 5th, 2021. That particular violation is please obtain permits for the kitchen and bath remodeling, renovations, and the window installation on the property. At this time, the property owner is not in compliance. His contractor did pull permits for the actual violation, but they have not been approved at this time. And that is a portion of the issue. They have not been approved. And so he is not in compliance. The photos are there. That's the photos of the gutting of the kitchen cabinets. And on the other side of that pile, you'll see a bathtub. Homeowner
Okay.
admitted
when you say that the contractor has not been approved, what do you mean?
They went to the building department and they submitted the application, but the permit has not been issued or approved at this time by the building department. So there are some issues as per whatever they submitted to the building department. So with regards to maybe architectural plans or items that the building department have deemed was incorrect, so that the permit has been denied. It just makes gives them time to do corrections. So once they have corrected the items that the building department have said that were not accurate, then they can resubmit and hopefully the permit will be approved. Once it's approved and issued, they will be in compliance.
All right, let me ask you a question. I reviewed the file, and it seems as though the contractor has done considerable work. Several weeks ago, they just wanted a little bit more time. So have they been actively working at the property without a permit still, or are they now okay to work, but the final permit hasn't been issued? Do they have a construction permit?
I cannot make the judgment call as to whether or not they can continue to work. The notes inside the building department's files just state that they need to make some corrections to the items that were submitted. So, you know, the building department would have to make that determination. The homeowner has not allowed me inside to see whether or not they've moved from one project to the next or where they are at this time. So I have not had access inside.
I'm sorry, Special Magistrate, I have to interrupt. I don't believe that we swore in the homeowner, and I don't believe he speaks English. So a lot of the testimony was not being translated or conveyed.
Okay, why don't we, okay, do you want to interpret the entire statement by the code officer or highlight it, or how do you want to handle that?
Well, clerk, can you swear him in first? And translator, I don't know, you can let us know whether you got all of the testimony from the officer or if you need her to repeat her testimony.
Okay, you please tell the customer to,
please. Sorry.
okay. Can you please ask the customer to raise his right hand for me?
Levez mes doigts, s'il vous plaît, monsieur.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
Est-ce que vous jurez solennellement et affirmez que tout les témoignages en bail pendant la procédure, ça, c'est absolument vérité et rien d'autre que vérité, et que bon Dieu aide vous? Dis oui, s'il vous plaît. Si vous d'accord, dis oui, s'il vous plaît. Can you hear me?
I don't know the Russian. Vous
entendez-moi?
Bazil dit.
Parlez plus dire.
I don't listen to what you said.
Est-ce que vous entendez ça me dire là?
Pas entendu ça dit.
Levez mes doigts en l'air, s'il vous plaît.
OK.
Est-ce que vous jurez solennellement que tout ça que vous avez dit pendant la procédure, ça, c'est la vérité et il n'y a rien d'autre que vérité? Si vous d'accord, dis oui.
Oui.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Merci.
Did he understand what the code officer testified to?
Est-ce que vous comprenez le témoignage que le code officier a fait là?
Oui.
Yes.
Okay,
Tell me,
Special
sir, what, well, let me go back to the code officer. What is your recommendation, Officer Willis?
Special Magistrate, he just needs time. So I would say 60 days.
Okay, so there is a contractor. Plans have been submitted. We're waiting on the city to approve the plans. There may have been an issue there, but there appears to be good faith compliance at this time.
The notes basically, the notes
Please.
just say estimate required to detail and itemize on the plumbing in the building. Also, legal plans were requested by the building department. That was done on July 29th. So those are the last notes by the city. Like I said, I just think that they need time in order to obtain and secure the permit.
Okay, Mr. Interpreter, please ask Mr. Malsus whether he understands that the code officer is willing to give him, and I'm willing to give him, an additional 60 days to get the necessary permit to complete the work. Does he understand that?
Eh bien, M. Marcellus, il y a un officier code là qui lui-même est prêt pour barreau 60 jours additionnels et moi tout voulais barreau 60 jours additionnels pour capable sortir permis qui est nécessaire pour capable faire travail là. Est-ce que vous comprenez ça?
Oui, je comprends un peu, mais si tu as travaillé slow, you can make 90 days. It's better.
Yes, I understand, but the city works the city's work is very slow, so I think 90 days would be best for me.
No, I'm going to stick to the recommendation of the officer. I think the city, in most cases, does a very good job. sometimes contractors like to blame the city. I'm not saying that that is happening here, but I will grant an additional 60 days to come into compliance. If not, let's just table it for 60 days for now, okay? For now, let's just do 60 days. We'll table it for 60 days.
Sorry. Non, m'a prêté à 60 jours. Et parce que je pense que recommandation officielle, les normal, les juste. Et si tu en tout, je pense que les fait un bon travail en général sur majorité dossiers. Il y a quelques contracteurs des fois qui connaissent blâmer et royo sur site, mais je pas dit que c'est ça va faire la cogna non. Même si on a prêté à 60 jours et je pense que c'est un valeur normale pour nous capables d'avancer. Donc, on a quitté la 60 jours. Okay.
All right. I note that it's a relatively new violation. It hasn't been adjudicated. I don't see anything here that is of a life safety nature. It's just a bureaucratic a problem right now getting the permit. So I'm going to table it for 60 days and we'll see where we are then. Let's move on to the next case.
Donc, moi, je pense que ça, c'est relativement un dossier qui, une violation qui est nouveau. Et moi, pas ouais que tu as aucun jugement qui t'est fait sur lui déjà et pas aucun risque de vie tout, vraiment. C'est juste une affaire bureaucratique et donc, qui était pour sortir papier seulement. Donc, Jean Zolan a quitté là 60 jours. D'accord? OK.
The next case on the agenda is item number 1, Ribeiro International Investments 2 LLC, case number MHVIO 2021-00004. This case was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of August 1 of 2021. The fine set was $300. The property address is 12355 Northeast 13th Avenue. The officer is Gary Beswick.
What case number did you say?
Number 1 for Ribeiro International Investments LLC.
Okay, my number 1 is 119 Plaza. So I guess it the agenda must have changed overnight.
Correct.
Okay, so repeat the name of the case again, please.
Ribeiro International Investments.
What number was it on the prior agenda?
I don't have that information.
Okay. Just give me a minute to...
It starts with an RIB. It should be an ABC order.
Magistrate, if I may, it's number 23 in the old agenda.
Okay, I just found it. Proceed, please.
Is this person Pilar in person or here?
In Zoom. In Zoom.
All right. Ribeiro International Investments, 12355 Northeast 13th Avenue. Is the city ready to proceed?
Can you give me the name?
Brandon Porsche and Karina Porsche.
Hi, Brandon, I've enabled your video and audio.
Hi, thank you so much. Okay, I see that now.
All right, I have no way to get the record. It's at website unavailable, so I'd like the officer to first identify himself and tell me exactly what this case is all about.
Good morning, Gary Bazil for the City of North Miami Building Department. The case is reference to putting up garage door and do electrical work inside of a warehouse without required permits. They got the permit now for the doors, so the only thing pending is for the electrical work that they did inside. So basically, it's just for the property owner to give us an update on where he's at with that.
Magistrate, we haven't sworn in the respondent.
Sir, can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Sir, please state your full name, your street address, and your relationship to the property.
Sure. My name is Brandon Porsonde. The last name is spelled P as in Paul, O-R, S as in Sam, A-N, D as in David, E as in Echo, H as in Henry. The property is located at 12355 Northeast 13th Avenue, 33161 in North Miami. And I am the husband of the owner, Karina.
Okay. And the case has previously been adjudicated by a special magistrate. A compliance was set for August 21 with a daily fine of $300. I'm hearing that there is partial compliance. The door is okay. What needs to be done?
Your Honor, would it be okay if I give you a little bit of background on what kind of led up to why it's taken so long just for the electrical? Would that be okay?
Yeah, try to keep it brief. We have a long agenda, and
Sure.
I think I'll get it pretty quickly if you just
Sure.
stay to the critical points.
Okay. Yeah. So November of last year, we signed a lease with a new tenant. Prior to them moving in, they wanted new rolling doors, so they would be easier to lift. We agreed to do that for them. So we decided to also replace 7 more doors in the building just so they would all function better. In addition to that, we also decided to change this tenant's really old electrical panels to 2 new panels with a reputable electrical contractor. Unfortunately, the contractors did the work on the door. Who did the work on the doors and the electrical? They told me, and I'm not the property manager. I was just kind of helping out my wife. They said it was a simple job because things were pre-existing, so they didn't pull a permit. Which, of course, as owners, we take responsibility for that. One of the new electrical panels we replaced on the wall was in the tenant's unit. The tenant, without telling us, decided to tear down the entire wall in his unit. And so the electrical panel was just hanging there. So we were really concerned. We immediately hired the same electrician to come out to relocate that electrical panel to another wall. Of course, when the city saw this, rightfully, they cited us for 2 rolling doors and 2 electrical panels done without permits. Immediately after getting cited, I contacted an engineer to create plans for these permits. All 7 doors we did were approved in April of this year. I've attached evidence for that. However, when I went to the city in February of this year to submit plans for the electrical, I was told I had to go through DERM first because the tenant tore down the wall, which is understandable. We spoke to the tenant. They acknowledged it was their responsibility. They tore down the wall. They said they would take care of the permit for the wall with the county so we could move forward as the owners. And so we believed the tenant would care for this with DERM, in a timely manner so we could move forward with the city on the electrical. But we realized they were dragging their feet. We had to speak to an attorney who advised us to send a demand letter to them to care for the violation. And we did that. I also submitted that letter that was done in May of this year. And finally, only recently did they get approved through DERM on July 1st. And when they got approved, we immediately used a permit runner to submit all the plans to North Miami on the 11th of this month. So as far as I know, everything at this point has been submitted to the city for the electrical and the doors.
Is the unit occupied?
So the owner of the unit, he is not operating out of there. He did sign a lease, but he's not doing anything in the unit at this time. He might have some stuff in there, but he's not able to get a certificate of occupancy at this time. So he's not doing anything with the unit.
So you have complete access, and your electrical engineer or electrical company can go in and do the fix?
Yeah, exactly. And everything is up to code and everything should be fine. It just has to be approved, of course, a final inspection, but and Gary might have a little bit more.
Yeah. How long do you think it'll take to finalize the work that needs to be done?
So everything was submitted on the 11th. I would imagine it would. I'm hoping that it would be relatively quickly. Everything has been turned in. I know sometimes, like as you said, it can take a little while with the city. I don't want to say it's going to be longer than 60 days. I don't really know, Your Honor, just because I'm still learning a lot about this. I did use a permit runner to help speed up the process, but perhaps everything's turned in now, maybe 60 days, just to make sure that everything passes final inspection. And if any changes need to be made, I guess at this point, which I don't expect any.
So you're in the permitting process right now?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Beswick, any life safety issues that we should be concerned about?
No.
Do you concur on giving the property owners, considering
Yes.
how well he articulated his position?
Yes.
He's very convincing, and
Yes.
I'm persuaded that he's really trying to move in good faith, and that he's got a tenant from hell that has caused all of these problems for him. So I'm able to tabling it for 60 days. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, so the matter will be tabled for 60 days.
Thank you both. I appreciate that very much.
Okay. Good job.
Thank you.
You sure you're not an attorney?
I am not an attorney. I
Okay.
assure you of that.
Well, you argued very well on your behalf. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much.
The next case on the agenda is going to be item number 2 for Zerk Condo, case number CEMHS 2021-00006. This was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of July 15th of 2021. The fine set was $500. The property address is 13480 Northeast 6th Avenue. The officer on this case is Edme St. Louis.
Can you give me a
All
name,
right,
please?
I'm going to need help again from the assistant city attorney. Tell me what number was set for in the other agenda that I saw.
Yes, give me a second. I'm looking for it as well.
And if you could give me a name again.
Yes, it's Zerk Condo, ZURCH. It's number 29, Your Honor.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you very much. Got it.
We apologize about that, Magistrate. We'll be sure not to send you an updated version of the agenda when changes are made in the future.
Okay, great. That's okay. We'll work through it. Item 29 in the or depending upon which agenda you look at, it was 27 and then it became 29. But it's Zerk Condo at 13480 Northeast 6th Avenue. All right. Is the city ready to proceed?
Clerk, can you swear in the respondent, please?
Can you please raise your right hand for me? Thank you. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give in today's proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Court Officer Edme St. Louis.
Morning.
This case was previously opened on June 8th, 2021. It was in regards to a fire that took place in December of 2020. However, as of the last final reinspection on August 12, 2021, I checked the system. There's no permit as of right now. They were issued one permit for rewiring of first floor, but then when I did try to contact Miami-Dade County and Fire per the building department from Bazil, he explained to me that they would need to get clearance from the fire department in order to move forward with, obtaining permit on the city's end. So as of the final reinspection, the violation remains.
Okay, and the fire took place in December of 2020.
Yes.
The matter was adjudicated in when was it adjudicated, and was it by me?
I don't think it was by you.
Clerk, can you respond?
It was by you. It was a give me 1 second.
As you can see in the picture, those are some of the debris from the fire in the sections that were caught on fire.
Obviously, there's nobody living there, right?
The entire building is vacant. There's actually security guards there that prevents people from going inside.
Okay, so have you discussed this with the? Is this a condo or a rental?
It's condos.
Okay, and what is the association going to do about it?
The only person I've had actually communicated with was Mr. Brendan Brackington. He's the property manager. And when I did initially brought the issue to him, he explained to me he's doing everything he can, and he himself seemed to be under stress as well. So, and I have yet to hear from him.
Anybody present on behalf of the condo association?
I'm here with IMR Development, which is handling the permitting side for the fire alarm with Briggs Management.
What is the company? RM Development?
IMR Development.
IMR Development. And
Yes,
what
and I
is your
believe,
what is your relationship to the property?
I'm the project manager for IMR Development, so I've been managing the fire alarm side for the permitting process with Briggs Management.
Okay, I'm not sure that I understand what the scope of the work is that you've been hired to do. Are you only working on a particular issue rather than the whole building? What is your relationship to the property?
Okay, we've actually been asked to handle different aspects of the building, one of which is the fire alarm, which we're working in conjunction with Briggs Management for the permitting process for the fire alarm. I believe this is addressing strictly the fire alarm permitting. Correct?
It talks about, it doesn't, actually, my agenda only talks about violations. I don't know which violations.
Straight, I have a couple hands up in the queue, people asking to speak on the item. I don't know what their relationship is to the property. Would you like to hear them as well?
Not yet. I want to know what the violations are that are being that we're hearing today, because the my item just says what violations? What are we charging the property owner with?
This violation in the description, it states, please apply and obtain the necessary permits from the building department to bring the condo into compliance post-fire before the reinspection.
So it's a minimum housing. It's a minimum housing standard violation, sir. Basically, it's just an all-encompassing violation asking these the condo association to deal with the fact that the place is just sitting in the state in which it is. So if it's
Right. So it's not just a fire alarm issue. It's far more complicated.
A fire alarm issue at all. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was unaware. I'm not dealing with all of the violations, only the one that IMR has been employed to deal with. So I'm not sure of all of the ones that are being addressed. I just know that we dealt with electrical and fire alarm.
Okay. Well, that's not going to do it. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to do than just fire alarms. And just looking at the pictures, you can see that
Oh, I have the property manager here.
All right. I want to hear from the property manager then.
Denise, I've just given you access, video and audio access.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you enable your video?
Yes. Hold on, let me see. Good morning.
Pilar, can you swear her in, please?
Can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Please state your full name, address, and relationship to the property.
Okay, my name is Denise Nicole Brooks. My address is 6151 Miramar Parkway, Suite 315, Miramar, Florida, 33023.
And what are you doing on behalf of the property?
Okay, I met with the board after the fire. Just to make a correction, Barrington Patterson is not the property manager. He was the maintenance person there. So that is who she had spoken with. The notices that have been posted saying at my office, they have been posted at my office that I moved from 2 years ago. So it wasn't posted at my office. I found out that there was a notice at the building yesterday. I met with the board. I actually started a special assessment right after the fire. I hired IMR. First, we were told that we just had to do the electrical on the first floor, and we had to change the meter rooms, the panels in the meter room. All of that was completed. However, the inspector did not give IMR the final permit. We were first told that we had to repair the fire alarm that was damaged on the first floor only because the fire was contained to just one unit. And we hired IMR to just do the repairs to the first floor to pull the permit. They tried to do that, and then the city told us, no, we had to do the entire building in order for us to, for anyone to be able to move back in. We wouldn't be able to get back the electricity, even though the electrical was completed until the entire fire alarm was completed. We've been going back and forth with the county with regards to the fire alarm progress. And there's nothing else that we can do until there's electricity in the building. We were told by the city not to. I requested permission if we could start the cleaning out of the building while the permitting process was being done. I was told, no, we cannot. They won't allow anyone at all on the property in the building until the fire alarm is complete.
All right, let me ask you a couple of questions. I'll let the code officer respond to your comments. You say that the board is working on a special assessment. What's the status?
I passed the special assessment August 17th. The people have been paying the special assessment because we had to do that in order to get even first we had the monies to do the partial fire alarm on the first floor. And we had the money to pay for the electrical on the first floor. But then when they told us that it had to be the entire building that had to be redone, the entire fire alarm in the entire building had to be redone, that's when I had to do get the special assessment done so we could do the fire alarm for the entire building. Not only that, it encompassed not just the fire alarm now. There's some other projects that we have to do, like they told us we have to change the doors for them to self-close. There's some other things in the special assessment, not just the fire alarm.
All right, I don't understand why the fire alarm needs to be done before restoring fire
electricity.
Electricity, right?
That's my thing too. I don't understand why, because we cannot do anything because it's very dark in that building. And they told us at the city of North Miami, because we didn't even, the electrical work is complete. And the inspector told our contractor that they won't give them a final until everything is done. There's nothing that we can do if there's no electricity.
She's saying that.
Okay, I want the
electrical permit.
Yeah, I want. Hello.
The fire alarm approved.
Okay, I hear the building official and the code officer discussing this. What is it that they are required to do in order to be able to move this forward?
No, that's fine.
Please identify yourself.
This is Steve Bazil, I'm building official for the city of North Miami. The main problem with this building actually lies with fire. Fire has some serious problems that go back over a decade with this building. That also besides the electrical, that needs to be taken care of. And the fire alarm system was damaged in this fire, and some of it was not necessarily legally wired. So there's a lot of problems with this building, and it's more than just the fire.
Okay. So has the board taken any action to remedy these other issues?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes.
I'm asking that right now my questions are going to be directed to the city and specifically the building official. I want to know what is that they need to do, the process for getting this building back in shape.
They need to pull permits for the fire alarm system, for the electrical system, for there is a bunch of fire doors that were replaced with non-fire doors, and all this stuff needs to go down to the fire department for their approval.
Okay, how do they get electrical back so they can do all the other work?
They would have to, they'd have to end up having a temporary power. We're not going to turn the power on in the building until all the other problems are taken care of.
Okay. Do they know do that and get the work done with temporary power?
I'm sorry, you broke up.
Yeah, I just want to know whether the property manager or the board understand what you just explained to me, that they can have temporary power to do the work.
We're never told.
Well, again, I'd like to hear from the building official.
That was a discussion that was held with the property management company.
No, sir. I'm the property manager, and it was never held with me.
Okay.
Ma'am, please do not interrupt. Please do not interrupt.
Okay.
If you do it again, I'm going to mute you. Okay. So, Mr. Building official, what is your recommendation as we move forward? This property has been a problem property now since December of 2020, and here we are. They've been adjudicated. They've been given an abatement date, and I see the same pictures today as I saw several months ago when we gave an abatement date of July 15th. What do they need to do to show some progress?
They need to pull permits to repair the electrical system, to repair the fire alarm system. Once those permits have been approved by everybody, including the county, they can then apply for a temporary electrical permit, and we will issue that.
Okay. Obviously, the building is uninhabitable.
Yes.
And without, what about the interior work aside from the electrical and the fire alarm? Is that also within your purview?
Well, the one unit was pretty severely damaged, but then there was also other parts where windows were broken out that need to be replaced, and fire doors that were not fire doors anymore. And then the fire department also damaged a bunch of doors. They all need to be replaced because they're part of the fire assembly.
Okay. Have they pulled any permits?
I do not believe so, no.
Have you had any discussions with the board about maybe moving along or action will be taken before the unsafe structures board?
I've had discussions with numerous people on this property. I don't know, none of them, I believe, represent themselves as board members.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mr. Building official. I appreciate your time. Let me hear it from the owner again.
Okay, sir. The contractor is there. We pulled the electrical permits. They did inspections, but they refused to give them a final because they said we have to do the fire alarm first. She's there on the phone as well. The contractor that pulled the permit, the electrical permit.
Show me a copy of the permit.
Margaret, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Also, sir, they have never spoken to me at any time. There are only 2 security guards that are there, one in the daytime, one in the nighttime. Both security guards have my number. No one from the building department has spoken. I have personally called there a few times because I wanted to know what we were supposed to do. All I was told is that I said to them that we needed to clean the building and we have to have electricity because that building is very dark. No one has ever, they said, the only thing they told us is that we could not get any access to the building until the fire alarm is complete. We have an ongoing case with Miami-Dade County with regards to the fire rated doors, which is a part, as I said before, it's a part of the special assessment that was done. We already have the contract for the fire rated doors and for everything, but it's like, I don't know what's going on, which I had to get even the county attorney involved because they refused to do the final for the electrical, even though everything was already completed.
Ma'am, I appreciate the speech, but my question was, show me a building
The
permit.
contractor can give it to you.
I don't have the copy with me, but I can give you the permit number.
Well, that's a process number. I need to see a permit.
Hold on, let me pull it.
We can check the system. Peggy, can you?
Yeah.
Check it if I give you the number.
Have they been issued any building permit?
The only permit they issued was for the rewiring of first floor, which
electrical.
I have it here for. Let me read the description. Give me 1 second. It says rewiring first floor, each hallway, and replace light fixtures and fire repair. And it was issued February 9th of 2021. And it's still open until October 4th.
Okay.
And I have a permit number for the fire alarm as well.
As far as for that, the permit that I was just speaking on is BEL 002020000218.
Okay.
And that's the
so,
only issued permit.
Does anybody else want to speak on behalf of the board? I don't want to hear from vendors or managers or other people that are hired to do the work. I want to hear from board members. Any board member present?
No, they're not, sir. Because as I said, I got this notice yesterday because it was going to my 160 Northwest 176th Street address. I moved there from there 2 years ago.
All right.
Ma'am, you're going to need to update that information with the county. If you moved and you didn't update that information with the county,
I did, because I get from the county. I get mail from the county.
Okay.
There.
But just for reference, all notices are posted at the property as well.
Okay.
All right. So,
sorry to interrupt.
I have a Jasper Briggs with a hand raised. Are you here on behalf of this property?
On property appraisers, it only says reference only when it comes down to the address.
Yeah, clerk, do you know who Jasper Briggs is here? Are they here for this property?
Yes.
You don't know?
Yes, Jasper Briggs with fire alarm.
Okay. Magistrate, do you want to hear from Jasper Briggs?
yes. Tell me what's going on with a fire alarm.
Give me a second. Let me give them access. Can you swear him in, please, clerk?
Can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give in today's proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do. Can you please turn on your mic? Thank you.
Yes, sir. My part is with the fire alarm system. I been just having a difficult time with the fire alarm because in the beginning we thought it was just a partial fire system that just needed to be fixed. And it turned out that it's a full alarm that needed to be installed in the building. And we're getting a difficult time with the fire plan reviewer because he's coming up with new stuff each time we turned in the permit, but turning for the permit. But I think we are at the bottom of it now. I think we should have one done by the end of next week. But right now, you know, we just waiting on the plan reviewer to come up with a decision on the fire plan. But we've got everything into them and we've made all the corrections. We just need to change things as he asphalt.
What about all the other things? All the other things the building official mentioned? Fire doors, electrical systems. Who's going to fix that?
Well, that's I guess the project manager that we're just responsible for the fire alarm system.
Okay. Anybody else wishes to speak on this matter?
Yes, if I could, you asked about electrical. We had an electrical permit pulled. All of the inspections were completed, including the final. However, we were told that we would not be issued a final on the electrical until everything was completed with the fire alarm permit.
All right. Does the city have any records of a permit for the electrical system?
I can give the same.
No, I'm asking the city.
Oh, the city. Okay.
What inspections are?
Oh, that's the permit report.
Yes, there is a permit for electrical on the first floor, but it passed the rough inspection, but the final inspection was failed.
And when was that?
April 7th of 21.
Okay. Like to ask the building official what his recommendation is going forward.
Well, the building is not going to be allowed to be occupied until the fire alarm system has been installed and approved by the fire department at bare minimum.
Okay, and let's say they get that approved, then what is the next step?
We're still going to want to see permits on the doors that need to be replaced, and there was some other infractions that were found while we were in the building. But that's not the association, that's more on the individual unit owners.
Okay. All right, let me hear from the what is the building department's recommendation on where we move from here? They've been previously adjudicated. A fine has been set. The compliance date was July 15th. They're late. What can you give me some idea of what you would like to be done to get this project moving along?
Well, we need the fire alarm permit pulled, and that for them to figure out what the fire department wants, because the fire department also has a laundry list of items that they say have gone back over a decade. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, can I say something, please? I'm sorry. We were looking back into the plans, and they had a system that was installed in the building that was in violation, and that's when we had to redo all the plans and went back through a whole lot of different stuff. They said the permit wasn't completed at the last time they installed the system. I don't think they got a final. And so this is a new system we're putting in all together. That's why we've been going back and forth with the plan reviewer.
Is the funding available?
Well, as I said, we did the special assessment. We have, as usual, it's a condo association. A lot of people don't want to pay because they're not in the building.
Well, it doesn't matter to me whether they want to pay it or not pay it.
I know.
If you cannot raise the money to do the work,
we're raising the money.
You're gonna be in trouble.
I know, but we're raising the money.
You're raising all the money you need.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does this again? I need help from the city because this is such a complicated situation. There seems to be some work being done, but not quickly enough, and not in all the areas that need to be fixed.
Can I ask a question?
No. I'm asking the city.
Magistrate.
What would you like to do?
So we're approaching a year since the fire. My question would be, in order to be able to answer your question, Magistrate, my question would be, when will the permits and the necessary next step be completed?
All right, that's a question to whoever's managing the property.
Because otherwise the city would move to run the fines.
Okay, so the permits were applied for in February. What I did as the fire happened and everything, I got the contractor in place. So for me personally, because I've been calling the city as well with regards to the permits, they have been going back and forth with the county, as have I. They said they submitted, did another resubmission this week. So it's in the county's hands now. I'm not sure why I thought the final passed with the electrical. This is the first time I'm hearing that it was failed. I did not know that.
Well, okay, I'm gonna bring this to a conclusion because after considering all of the testimony and hearing the building official, it appears to me like we're putting a Band-Aid on a cancer. This has been going on for almost a year, and it seems like the property owner is placing the blame on the fire department, on the city, on everybody else except themselves. This should have been taken care of earlier. There should have been a general contractor hired right away with electrical subs and other trades, fire alarm trade. And this is just, to me, it's like they're dragging their feet. There's nobody here from the association, which troubles me because they're the ones that are going to have to pay the piper at some point. I'm just hearing from different people that have been hired to do different things, but there's nobody here from the association to give me a clear direction on where they're going to fund the repairs necessary to restore this building into a habitable building. So I'm disappointed that the abatement date has come and gone, and here we are, not much progress since I last heard the case. So based on the testimony of the code officers, the building official, the photographs that I've seen, and the evidence that has been presented before me, and noting that the property has been out of compliance since the abatement date, I find in favor of the city. I ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $500 per day, and I assess costs in favor of the city. The set fines shall continue to run on a daily basis until there is compliance. If the property owners move quickly in good faith and get this thing done, they can go back to the city manager or any other official in the city and negotiate the fine. But I by my order, I am ratifying the fines that have accrued to date, and they will continue to accrue as previously discussed. If this is not properly taken care of, the building official knows what the remedies are. The city knows what the remedies are. So with that, this case has been resolved. So we're ready to move on. I'm not going to hear any more speeches. Let's move on to the next case.
The next case on the agenda is item number 3, AHDS Ocean King LLC, case number CEMHS 2021-00026. The property address is 14560 Northeast 6th Avenue. The officer on this case is Vanessa Willis.
Can you give me a name, please, for the respondent?
Eric Martinez.
Mr. Martinez, I am enabling your audio and video. Just stand by once you log in to be sworn in. Mr. Martinez, can you accept the invitation to start your video and audio, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you please raise your right hand so I can swear you in? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give in each proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Martinez, please tell us again your full name, your street address, and your relationship to the property.
Good morning. My name's Eric Martinez. Company is Aruba Services, and my address is 1413 South Powerline Road, Pompano, Florida, 33069.
And what is your involvement?
I'm going to be assisting with the curing of this violation. Are you
a contractor?
I work for the general contractor. I am an agent for him.
Who's the general contractor?
General contractor is Joseph Floria, Aruba Construction and Roofing, and I have his CGC number if you'd like it.
Not at the moment. Who is the owner?
The owner is right here, Louis Benthoncourt.
Yeah.
Mr. Betancourt, I think you need to be sworn in also.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in each proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Betancourt, your address is 14560 Northeast 6th Avenue.
That's the property. My address is the house, 2000 South Main Street.
Yeah, I don't need your home address. This is your property though.
Yes.
Do you understand the nature of the violations?
Yes.
Okay. How much time do you think you'll need to get this corrected?
According to Aruba permits and
Ma'am?
Yeah. Well,
Good morning, your magistrate. I've already explained to him that the process can take a considerable amount of time, but if you may allow us a 90-day extension so we can provide proof of evidence of forward progress and show you where we're at along the process.
Okay. So you're the expediter, I take it?
I do a multitude of things.
Okay.
But I'm representing the general contractor today, sir.
Okay. All right. Let me hear from the city. I want to see exactly what the violations are, and I want the record to be clear as to what those violations are, because anytime I hear exposed rebar and deteriorated stucco, it worries me.
Absolutely, I agree.
And it worried me before the Champlain Towers collapsed. So this is not a similar situation, obviously, but I want to hear from the city.
Good morning, Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This violation was issued May 24, 2021. The violation is for deteriorated stucco with exposed rebar. It was observed throughout the property. We ask that they obtain permits and make all necessary repairs per the South Florida Building Code. As you see on the balconies, there is exposed rebar there on the railings. Those are the balconies. That photo was taken from the west side of the property. Those are the postings of the notices to appear. And this is the underside where they tried to put plaster there to, I guess, conceal the exposed rebar and the cracks in the building.
Please mute your speaker. I can only hear one person at a time.
As you can see there, they've been trying to repair it on their own, but there's no permit there.
Okay.
So those are some additional photos underneath the building.
What? Okay.
and see where they put the foam inside the holes there to conceal additional holes and rebar that was underneath the building as well.
Is this basically the same location or multiple locations?
Multiple locations. That's the underside of the building where the parking garage is. This is on the east side of the building.
Okay. Show me the exposed rebar. We're having trouble.
There's rebar there. I wish we could zoom in, but there's rebar there on the underside of the balcony railings.
How old is this building?
I'd have to pull up property appraisers to see how old it is, but I know it's older than 40 years.
It is or it isn't?
Is.
It is long. It is older than 40 years. So
Yes.
have they pulled their 40-year recertification?
Let me check. I believe they have an open violation for the 40-year building recertification. Just bear with me for a few seconds while you view the photos, and I can let you know. This is a property appraiser. So if we scroll up, we can see the year. Should be able to. We go down a little bit.
I don't think this version shows the year built.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's the next page.
I can look for the recertification information, magistrate, if you want to hear from them while we do that.
Yeah, I will. But let me just. Is there any issue, any life safety issues associated with the condition that you showed me on that photograph?
We can. I mean, I would prefer that the building official give us that that determination. I can see if he's available to take a look at the photos, or I don't know, he may have visited that building recently. Gary, I don't know if you're hearing. Is Steve available to jump back on and take a look?
What was the question? I'm sorry. I know the building, but what was the question?
Is the building safe? The condition shown on the pictures, does that represent a life safety issue from a building official standpoint?
It's bordering on one. There weren't that many balconies that were damaged, but my main concern is the balcony railings that are shown as being damaged. That those balconies should be cordoned off until such time as they're able to repair them.
How do you do that? How do you protect residents from the railings collapse?
Basically making it that they can't use those balconies. And in this case, there were some balconies that needed to be repaired. It wasn't widespread throughout the building. I was out at this building.
Okay, so the condition depicted on the photographs, which are limited to the balconies, other than keeping folks away from the balcony. Other than that, you believe the building is in reasonably good shape?
Yes, as long as they conduct repairs sooner rather than later.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me ask the owners what exactly is ongoing in terms of repairing those balconies. I know we have a general contractor. Where are you in terms of getting permits and getting the work done? And how much time do you need? Silence.
do apologize for that. I had you on mute. Thank you, Your Magistrate. My structural engineer has actually already been on site, and he is preparing a site evaluation with a building survey, instructing us where are all the areas that are in need of concrete restoration with respect to the railings and any of those parts of the buildings that have exposed rear bar. And he's also going to be providing us a set of drawings on how to make those repairs. So he's currently right now anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks out just to complete his drawings. And once that is complete, we will be submitting the permits as needed or as required by building code.
Is this, it's an LLC, but is it a rental or a condo?
It is a rental property, sir.
Okay, are the units in question that were depicted on the photographs, are they occupied?
I believe so. Are they occupied? Yes, sir, they are.
Do you have any objection to complying with the building official's request that the balconies not be used during the restoration process?
Oh, no, not at all. Safety is first. And I would assume, Louis, you agree? Safety
If it is that what we have to do, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do not want to see an incident where a resident is injured because the railings are not properly in shape. So what measures are you going to take to keep the renters from going into the balconies?
What we can do.
I think I can propose something, and we can certainly provide a barrier in between the railings and the access, from the interior.
Okay, whatever ruling I make today will require you to take measures to keep individuals from going into those balconies that are the subject of this violation. So you understand that?
I agree. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Let me ask something. Sorry, I'm going to speak Spanish with Eric.
Okay.
Si tú pones la barrera frente a los bars que están malos, que estamos claros que están malos, en realidad el acceso al balcón lo pudieras tener, ¿o no?
Bueno, eso...
Porque si proteges el balcón no está malo, lo que está malo son las barras.
No, pero el balcón no lo podemos usar.
Ajá, pero
es una sugerencia, simplemente.
Tiene que tener un barrier. Ellos no pueden tocar
de acuerdo.
El balcón. So, en otras palabras, aunque lo fabrique temporariamente de madera y te ponga un railing temporariamente, es para que ellos no pongan el peso.
Ni un pie en el balcón.
No es el balcón, es el railing. Porque
es que eso es lo que me preocupa, es el railing.
Es el railing, se pueden caer.
Porque te vas a apoyar en el railing.
Tú te vas a poner en el railing igual. Si la fabricamos alguna de madera o algo, tiene que ser de madera, pero a código. Con las 4 pulgadas de separaciones, bien anclado al balcón. ¿Tú me entiendes?
Sí.
No quieren que alguien se...
Mr. Martinez, I understood everything that was said.
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to restate it for the record in English.
Well, we were having a side conversation, but the question my client was asking me was if there was an issue with providing a barrier between the balcony in the balcony, so the tenants can still use the balcony, but providing a barrier for the railing. So what I understood from his comment was if we were going to put a temporary railing. But what I explained to him is if even we were to put a temporary railing in between, the balcony exterior and the railing itself, it still would have to meet, code. It'd have to be code compliant with, 4-inch separations and well anchored and so forth. So it's probably, it's probably not going to work out like that. We just need to keep them out of the balconies.
Well, I agree with you that the best case scenario is to keep folks out of the balconies, because you're not going to be able to control a 3 or a 4-year-old child playing in the balcony. So what I'm going to do is, whatever it is that you propose to safeguard that balcony and the railings, whatever it is that you propose, that you run it by the building department and make sure that they're okay with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Agreed.
That's fair.
Okay, I'm not going to play building official. I'm going to let them decide what is and what is not safe going forward with respect to the railings.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me hear from the city. The property owner is requesting as much as, I guess, 3 months. Is that acceptable, or do you want an adjudication?
I would ask for the adjudication, and I would ask for maybe 60 days, not 90, because I need to, be assured that they actually go and pull the permit. I don't want to get to the 90th day and they still don't have a permit.
Okay. Yeah, I do not understand why it would take a structural engineer 12 weeks to draft the necessary drawings. If that's what you're hearing from your structural engineer, perhaps you need to find another one. But I agree with the code officer, and I will enter the following ruling consistent with. Yes. Before I rule, I'm going to rule, but you can go ahead and make your final comment.
Yes, sir. Okay, so the 60-day okay. So the comment is that the engineer is 10 to 12 weeks out. Workload is heavy on his end, and he's doing it in the order of which he received the business. And he is a structural engineer, so with what has been going on with Miami and the condo collapse, he has taken on a lot of business. It wasn't always like that. So do forgive us that, yes, permits will not be submitted within 60 days. It's unless I have the drawings, there's no sense in me submitting just a blank permit application. Would you guys agree on that?
Well, the question is whether the engineer can do it quicker.
Okay, so I can investigate that and find out if there is a option for that. I don't mind appearing back here at the magistrate hearing in 60 days to show you that progress. And then my second question would be adjudication. What is exactly the definition of that? What does that even?
All right. So what I will do is I will find that you are in violation of the code, but I'm going to give you a period of time within which to bring the property back to compliance. Okay, without any.
You're going to have to repeat that. There's a bad signal.
That deadline, 60 days or 90 days. If you do not comply by that deadline, then you will be incurring fines on a daily basis. That's what it means.
So adjudication means 60 days, do or die, permits, hand railings, repaired or replaced, and that's it. And then daily.
Well,
is that
it doesn't quite work out that way. We're not machines. We're human beings, and we understand that there are problems in the construction business and that things happen. So it isn't like, if you don't meet the 60 deadline or whatever deadline I said, it doesn't mean that the next day you're going to immediately start paying the city fines or the city's going to shut you down. It doesn't mean that. What I'm encouraging you to do is move in good faith, this thing resolved as quickly as possible. If 60 days doesn't work, I am going to grant you more time, but I don't want you to come back 90 days, from now and tell me I couldn't get the permit because the plan was deficient. You're going to have to, really move the structural engineer. I don't want this dragging on. Some of these conditions are critical. Some are not. Maybe you want to deal with the critical issues first, and then leave the stucco or whatever else needs to be done cosmetically. You can do that later. But I'm going to be lenient, even though I'm inclined to believe that it can be done quicker. I'm going to give you 90 days to get the work done.
Absolutely.
Okay, not a day more. Okay, that's it. Come 90 days, if you're not finished with this work, you're going to start accruing fines.
Well, I have a comment to that. Is that those handrails they're concrete and it's just not in use. They don't no longer meet code. They actually have a gap greater than 4 inches, and the building official can attest to this. That this is Florida building code with hand railings. And if one hand railing is going to be repaired, they're all going to be repaired, whether their concrete restoration is needed or not. They're going to force us to do it because that's the building code. So the only quickest and fastest option to fix this issue is not to add more concrete on the balconies that are perhaps already at its stages of becoming more weight to the balcony. It doesn't make sense to do that. So what I've already preemptively proposed just by looking at this job site is that we remove all the hand railings and replace them with weight aluminum, sort of like it would be a fence or a pool fence hand railing. It's, just to give you an idea. And that would be the best way to do this type of job, is to get rid of all those hand railings and make them all safe. So that way we're not seeing you 10 years down the road or whenever that the next set of rebars.
Yeah, well, that changes the whole picture of what we're here about. What you all decide to do with the rest of the building going forward, entirely up to you. For now, the issue before me is fixing the problems that were identified in these pictures. That after you fix those problems, you can do whatever you want with your project, subject to whatever the building official suggests is the right way to do things. And I understand that may require you to do double work and spend more money if you're going to replace it anyway. But I'm not gonna wait a year or a year and a half for you to replace all the balconies for this to be done.
We're not asking for that. We just asked it in 90 days when we show you those forward progress, which there will be forward progress, to just be mindful of that. That's all we're asking for.
Okay, well, progress is good, but in this case, not so good, because we're dealing with issues that are dangerous. And I understand we're going to mitigate those dangers to a certain extent. Yeah. That's why I'm giving you an additional 30 days. But come 90 days, you better be close to finish, or those fines are going to start accruing on a daily basis. So no more discussion, no more back and forth. My ruling is that based on what I've heard and finding in favor of the city, I'm going to basically set a compliance date of 90 days. And in the event of non-compliance, there shall be a daily fine of until the action. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll see you.
We didn't hear that.
Hopefully,
we didn't hear that. It lost connection.
You have 90 days to get the work done. If it's not done in 90 days, then a daily fine of $500 per day will start accruing. Okay? Hopefully, you'll get it done. The city won't have to come back to me for a ratification of those fines, which is the next step. Okay? If you're not in compliance in 90 days, the city is going to bring the case back to me. and then we'll see where we are at that point.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you very much, Your Magistrate, for your time.
Okay.
Thank you all.
And please move forward diligently and discuss the issue of the railings with the building official and see what is appropriate to keep everybody safe.
We will certainly do that with Gary Biswick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case.
The next two cases on the agenda are for Sailboat K Condo Association, case number CEEXC 2020-00008, which was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of July the 8th of 2021, and the fine set was $1,000. The second case was CEPPK 2021-00001, which was previously adjudicated as well with an abatement date of July the 8th of 2021. The fine set was $500. The property address is 13499 Biscayne Boulevard. Shanna Sanders is the officer on the first case.
Hi, Rachel. Let me give Ezekiel access as well, the property manager. Just a moment. You're on mute.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Clerk, can you swear in the property manager?
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in today's proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, let me hear from Ms. Sanders first.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As already previously stated, this is a report of previous compliance for property address 13499 Biscayne Boulevard for Sailboat Cave. This one is for the exterior of the property that is in need of painting, it's in need of pressure cleaning, it's in need of some repairs. You can see rebar in some I don't know if it's dry board, but you can see the boards or some type of surface that needs to be properly repaired. As of last week, Thursday, August 12th, the violation still remains. I'll let Ezekiel jump in and state what's going on with the property and why the property has not been coming to full compliance as of last Thursday.
Okay, show me the mildew and the walls again that are the subject of this violation.
Is this the proper case, Shannon?
Yes, it is, Crystal.
Are we talking about Sailboat K Condo, 13499 Biscayne Boulevard?
That's correct.
It's a high rise?
It is. And I just want to put on the record, Special Magistrate, that the building official and I met with the attorney, Rachel Streitfeld, and Mr. Ezekiel, who is the property manager, I understand, back in July, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And at that time, we did discuss the issues at the property. The attorney was very eager to, remedy those issues. I think we did give I think we gave a 30-day internal extension in order for the building official to meet with the property manager and the attorney, I think, at the property to kind of further discuss how to remedy the issues. And I don't think that everything has been resolved. So we're here today, and I guess the attorney can kind of speak to where things are.
Your Honor.
All right. Yeah, I'll let. Is it Ms. Streitfeld?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The first case we're going to hear is the one dealing with the dirty walls and mildew, where a $1,000 fine was set with an abatement date of July 8th. Tell me why that issue, which appears to be pretty easy to resolve, just pressure cleaning and cleaning a wall. Why? Where are we with that?
Your Honor, the building, as the city is well aware, is working on their 40-year recertification and has a significant amount of work to do to meet that requirement. They have been going through an extensive process internally to figure out how they are going to finance the work for the 40-year recertification, and they're moving forward. The property manager, Mr. Sar Shalom, can give you a more detailed update as far as where they are with their engineers. When this violation was initially transmitted, the property manager did take steps along the frontage at Biscayne Boulevard to basically address the immediate aesthetic concerns. And so there was pressure cleaning and painting done along the Biscayne Boulevard facade pretty much immediately. And maybe I'm sure there were miscommunications. I think there was an understanding from the property management side that was sufficient for now. And then we have had conversations with Ms. Patterson and Mr. Pizzillo about the 40-year recertification and the work that they need to do. So essentially, this is about Sailboat K trying to save as much money in as many places as they possibly can. So to do the pressure cleaning on the remaining 2-3 facades of the building and to repaint would be an additional expense, since they know that they have additional concrete and other work to do before they can put the finishing touches on the building.
Have the finance issues been resolved?
Zeke, do you want to provide an update to the judge about how the financial issues are going?
Yes. First, thank you very much, Jose, for meeting me again.
I like seeing you and I like talking to you. You're very nice, but I wish I didn't have to see you so often.
Well, it's been a while. I want you to know that I did comply with our original agreement, which was you wanted us to at least take care of the just like Rachel mentioned, the part of the building east of the property facing Biscayne Boulevard. We painted that whole side of the building. We fixed every single hole, every single crack that was on that side. It's painted white as Shana wanted us to do it, and it's finished. It's done.
Would you mind just advising the special magistrate on the finance issue?
Yes, we have had our first meeting in reference to the special assessment for the funding of the special assessment, which would include, of course, after finishing with some of the repairs that we need to do, and we will, of course, then paint the whole building. So this is something that we talked about before. Yes, the financing is on its way. Hopefully, we will have that vote within a couple of weeks. And we've already talked with Popular for the bank, for the loan, and we do have all the engineering reports and the bids and everything. Everything's already in line to start doing this right now. I can keep going on, but Rachel, she'll get upset with me for talking to you.
Let me ask you, what
we can't hear you.
Magistrate, your signal's a little delayed.
Yeah, I'm sometimes I get frozen. I don't know what I can do about it. But what is the property owner's request that we put this off for how long?
Well, allow us to at least do the concrete restoration before the painting, so we don't have to spend double the amount of money. I mean, I will make it as pretty as I can, and I'll make it as nice as possible and try to keep the place looking beautiful as I have. But if I paint it now and then I paint it again, that's double the amount of money. And it's money scarce, we're not a rich property.
Yeah, and I obviously, and middle is it's not a. When are you going to comply?
I couldn't hear anything. I'm so sorry. You were chopped off all the time.
Yeah. By when do you see this condition remedied?
I think that if everything goes as planned, which has been going as planned, I think that within a year and a half, we should have that whole building finished. The whole building will be finished, painted. It will be like new.
Okay.
I think so.
Let me ask the building code officer, Ms. Saunders, and we're only dealing about this particular violation. Whatever else is going on in the building, good, bad, or indifferent, that's for another day. But on this violation, what is your recommendation? This is strictly on the dirt and the mildew. Pressure cleaning.
This violation has been open since October of 2020. And I'm honest to say, I've been hearing the same conversation with Zeke since I first initially visited the property. So I would recommend that we go ahead and eradicate the fines so that we can get this taken care of. It's on the corner of 135th and Biscayne Boulevard, one of our gateways to the city. So it's almost the first thing that you see when you enter off coming onto the east side of our city. So it definitely needs a little more care. So I would recommend we move forward with assessing the fines.
Zeke, let me ask you, why can't you go and pressure clean and get rid of the mildew, and then whenever you're ready to stucco or paint or do whatever you need to do, then you go back and you do it? What's the cost involved in getting rid of the mildew?
Well, it's not. Let's clarify. It's not mildew. It's just dirt. It's dirty. And we have cleaned the problem that we had originally was already cleaned and painted. That was the original pictures and the area that Shana looked at. All that has been taken care of. There is no more dirt there, and the paint it's completely done. That's already done. Now you're asking for you're adding other things to this, which is you want us to clean the whole building. Now, to do that, we'd have to put the trapeze issues. The trapeze will cost $10,000, $15,000 just to set it up. And then you need to go outside of the building and pressure clean it. When you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to tear off the paint that is there right now. And then you're going to have a building with patches all over the place of different colors. And then the engineers, when they're going to go there, they're going to have to start fixing some of the spots that they have already painted with paint, spray paint, where they're going to be doing the fixing and the repairs. And then that's going to get wet. And then that's going to cause a problem to you. And they're going to have to go back and repaint those areas. So it complicates the whole 40-year concrete restoration by doing that right now. It's going to cost us way more money than...
Well, Special Magistrate, if I may, I just want to... If I may, I want to just add, whereas, I would generally side with the code officer. When Steve and I met with Madam Attorney and Ezekiel back in July, I think what we're discussing here is a paint violation. And I think the reason we had set the fine so high is because we've seen this. I think this issue had been in existence for quite some time, for dating back to 2013 or something like that. But during the course of the conversation back in July, it was uncovered that there were some issues related to the 40-year recertification. And obviously the city's concern at this time is less the paint and more the safety. And whereas we're not hearing a safety concern today, it is a paint violation, but that issue was uncovered while trying to address the paint issue. And so we invited the building official today just to I would be in favor. I wanted to hear from them as in terms of where they are with the safety concerns. I would be okay with, and not obviously, I agree with the officer, and I have received personally a number of complaints from various places reference the aesthetics of the building. But, considering where we are in terms of safety, high-rise buildings and what have you, I think we'd be remiss to kind of, force their hand on painting when, there are some structural issues and a 40-year recertification that's still pending. So
may I also
wanted to add that.
Wait! Yeah. I want to hear from Ms. Patterson, because she was getting to the place that I wanted to go, which is, what is she recommending?
So my recommendation would probably be, before I say that, Special Magistrate, I just want to hear from the building official, because I haven't heard from him since he visited with them post our meeting in July. So I just want to know where things are from that standpoint before I can give you my recommendation.
Mr. Pizzillo, can I please swear you in, sir? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Magistrate, we actually went out to the building, and as we're doing with every building in the city right now, and reviewing it for problems that we perceive dealing with criteria of the 40-year. In the case of Sailboat K, we did find a couple of columns that were problematic. They have an engineer of record on, already signed up. He was available to us that day. We agreed to a program for the problem, where he designed a shoring for it. The shoring was installed within, it was a 24 or 48 hours. So they've been very responsive to us on the problems that we have, as the building department has with the building.
And so you want me to table this for a period of time, or what is your recommendation?
I'll leave that up to Crystal on the paint.
Okay. All right.
It is going to take them a while to get the concrete restoration done, because it's a big building, and there's a little bit here, a little bit there. And the only thing that was a major concern to me was one column. And like I said, they had that shored up and, by an engineer with the engineer's approval very fast.
Okay, so that's been resolved.
Well, it's been temporarily resolved. They shored it. It's a temporary shoring until they can get the plans into us and actually do the work. But that entailed them doing special assessment and them hiring the contractors and doing all that.
Okay, and so the next phase in the restoration of the building or repair on the building would be concrete?
Yes.
Restoration of the exterior building, balconies?
Yeah, well, I believe the whole south side of the building and portions of the garage. And the columns that were in question were in the garage area, actually under the pool, and they've also drained the pool to relieve the weight on the structure.
Okay, so Special Magistrate, I would be okay with, there's already an adjudication. I'd be okay with letting some more time, but I would like for the attorney to advise the city on what the time frame looks like. I don't want it to be, an open-ended, but I think that, Madam Streitfeld can give us some direction on how much time Sailboat K is going to need to rectify or handle the permits and whatever's needed in order to bring the building itself into compliance.
Thank you very much, Ms. Patterson. I would need to confer with the client to get more details as far as when the actual assessment vote is scheduled and how the timeline between whether or not permits can be submitted before the assessment, what the payment schedule looks like for permit submittal. Zeke, I don't know if you can add to the conversation at the time right now as far as timing for when we anticipate permit submittal, or we should have that conversation after this and then follow up with Ms. Patterson as far as timing. I mean, I would be very open to coming back before the special magistrate for a check-in on the record to see where the condominium association is in 90 days.
Well, the problem with these issues is that let me give the good news. The good news is we have the engineering report. We have the shoring engineering report. Stephen has already seen it. We have followed through with all of it. We have the bids for the contractors, which right now, getting a contractor is really hard because everybody's scrambling all over the place trying to do what we have already done. So I think that we can start this very soon. But if you want me to give you a date, I mean, I would have to, it would all depend. We do the special assessment, then you have to get the loan. But meanwhile, I'm doing work. I'm not just sitting here and waiting for things to happen by themselves. But the city, and I'm asking is, please understand that we do want to do the right thing, and we are doing everything that is asked from us. But to give you, I want to give you the time and comply. I don't want to just give you, it's going to take this. I don't want to do that. I want to be. If you want, we can have a meeting with Crystal and Stephen later on in the future, like we have before, and we can actually give you an exact time. It's going to take us this long to start. This is when we're going to do the permits. It's all relative to to.
So would it be fair to say that in 60 days, you guys would have concluded the special assessment process and have identified the funding necessary?
I think that in 60 days, we'll have the special assessment done by then. Remember, it takes,
So if we could do 60, can we do 30? Can we get the special assessment at least done in 30 days?
No, that won't be possible. It won't be possible because to do that, you have to do notification and then you have to have an open board meeting and everybody has to, we've already had the first meeting, but we're going to have the final meeting where they actually voted. It takes, there's a rule on statute 718 that says we need 14 days before the meeting mailed out. So we have to have this package set up so everybody gets the package and then sets it up. So
Magistrate, I would recommend, 60 days, but I really want it to be clear and make on the record that, if we're going to give 60 days, at 60 days, the association should be able to, should be prepared financially to move forward in terms of making repairs.
All right. If I could add to that also, I would like to, as part of your order, that the engineer of record on the first of every month, give me an update as to the condition of the building.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fair.
And I just want to add, I really appreciate the support that we've gotten.
You're frozen.
Oh.
No.
You're actually good. You're actually good, Rachel. I think it's the magistrate that's frozen.
Okay. I probably should have restarted my computer before I got into this Zoom, but that's okay. I just wanted to say, we really appreciate the patience and support of the city. Crystal, our meeting actually was before June 24th. It was not in July. It was before June 24th. And I will never forget that because the morning of June 24th, I was on site at Sailboat Cay going over these issues with Zeke. The tower fell, I woke up and I went straight to Sailboat Cay. So we are hyper conscious of the concerns, and Zeke and I are working with his condo lawyer to get the special assessment scheduled and move quickly so that we can get into the permitting phase of this.
All right. So I think I've heard enough, and I'm going to make a couple of comments. First of all, I appreciate everybody trying through this. It's and there are many issues that need to be addressed. I believe that you could probably start getting the permitting process going before the special assessment because you're going to have a special assessment. Whether you like it or not, the board has to understand that if they don't do it, look at Champlain. Those board members are all being sued.
Yeah.
And their personal assets are going to be exposed. It's not just limited to the insurance. They have personal liability if they don't approve the special assessment if something happens. So as far as the, I'm gonna give you another 60 days. I'd like the idea that official.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you. I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Progress on the column shoring. So while we wait to get all of these matters resolved, I would like that to be the case. Zeke, were you going to say something?
I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry. You were chopped off. All I heard was 60 days, and then.
Okay,
and then
all right. I said a couple of things. The board members need to get on the board and do the right thing and pass the special assessment. You can go ahead and start your building permit process before you pass your special assessment. Nothing prevents the building from filing the necessary paperwork. And I'd like the idea that the building official suggested that periodic reports be sent to his office regarding column shoring.
Okay. I can't hear you. Sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear the end. I heard
we heard up and through the periodic reports to the building official, magistrate.
Yes.
Was that all?
So let's, did you hear that?
We heard the last part reference the periodic reports to the building
Okay,
official.
and they can go ahead and start filing for the building permits before the special assessment is instituted.
Okay. So,
All right.
so we forget about the paint for now. Is that okay? We resolve this issue? Because we changed the
Well,
subject.
it's not resolved. It's postponed for 60 days.
The paint?
Yes, Zeke, the paint.
I just want to make sure we understand.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll see you in 60.
We'll see you in 60 days on that one. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you.
Magistrate, is this the ruling on both cases?
No.
Yes. The second case also will have the same ruling.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you have potholes, you got to fix those potholes.
We have fixed the potholes, Your Honor. I actually would love, happy to talk about this in 60 days, but I would love to hear from the building official as far as whether or not they need us to do anything further at any point or whether the work that was done is sufficient.
I did go out to the building and they showed me the potholes, and I would in the case of that one, I would just comply the case.
You would what?
I would comply the case.
Okay. So as far as the potholes are concerned, we're fine. Are there any other defects associated with this violation?
If the building official says that it's an all clear, Special Magistrate, our position is we're prepared to comply the case.
Okay, fine. Good.
Thank you.
Making some progress. Let's hear the next case.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.
The next case on the agenda is going to be item 6, Andre and Nadine Williams Shim, case number CEBPR 2020-00025. This case was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of April the 8th of 2021. The fine set was $250. The property address is 920 Northeast 141 Street. The officer on this case is Vanessa Willis.
What's the case number?
Number 6 for Andre and Nadine.
He doesn't have the same agenda as you, Pilar.
The name is Andre and Nadine Williams Shim.
Okay, I got it. All right, has the owner been sworn?
He has not.
Can you please unmute your mic, Ms. Shim?
Thank you.
Can you please raise your right hand? Good morning. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give in each proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Special Magistrate Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This case was already adjudicated, and at this time, there are no permits in the system. They did apply for the permit. The permit has since expired, and there's been no further action that I'm able to determine at this time per our Eden software. So they are not in compliance. I would ask that the fines go forth.
What's the owner's response?
Morning, Magistrate.
Owner present?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
What is the owner's position on this?
We applied for the permits, Magistrate, and the whole process is just taking a longer time. We have, I think, 3 or 4 permits approved by Durham, and there was an issue in the last 2 or 3 months with the WASA portion of the permit asking for a rework, and the plans went back to my architect, who is working on fixing whatever they're asking for.
Well, here's my problem. I believe that I adjudicated this case back early this year, February 12th, and there was an abatement date of April the 8th. and the work was done without a permit. In the rear of the property, I saw the overhang, I saw the building blocks, clearly a violation. To me, it doesn't seem like it's something that should take a year to resolve. Why has it taken so long?
I submitted an email, and I have been actually showing all the work that we've been doing in terms of trying to procure all the permits, as well as paying all the fees. I don't know if you've ever tried to work with Durham or Wausau or just getting things done, particularly during the pandemic. It was challenging. And then in addition to that, my architect and the engineer has other projects. So I'm doing my best. I don't know what else to do. Right now, we're closer than we were 2 to 3 months ago, where we're doing the rework. It's not as if we're doing absolutely nothing. We are working on trying to get the permit completed.
Have you received any notification from Durham as to when they're going to issue the permit?
Your Honor, I went online and I submitted an email a few days ago when I downloaded. I don't know how to interpret it, but my understanding is that there was a rework issued on the Wausau portion of the permit. I submitted it to everyone in an email, and that's what my engineer or architect's working on.
Special Magistrate, may I ask?
Yes.
We initially cited mission back in 2020. The work at the property should have ceased until Durham, the city, or whomever it is that you needed permits from issued the proper permits. But based on the photos that the officer has taken, work has continued. So can you, the city is confused at how we're, it's difficult to continue to lend more time when you guys continue to work.
Ms. Patterson, once we received that cease and desist, we have not done any work since we've received that that notification. Absolutely nothing. Not a nail, not a brick, not a stone. I don't know what you're referring to, because if you actually saw, we have morass, mold, and insects back there. Nothing has happened. And I've been working just hard to try and get the permits to have this done. We haven't done anything. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to.
Let me show the pictures for the record. So back in 2020, this is how we found the property.
Okay.
There was, a couple pieces of plywood attached to what appears like a little overhang.
Okay.
Looks like some aluminum there. This is September of 2020. We've come to court since then. And then here in June,
we haven't done that. That happened within that week of us getting the notification. And that is actually our washroom. The entire reason this started is that we had mold and mice from our neighbors coming into the washroom, and we tore the which we've had before, the laundry room. We tore it down, and all that was done that week. We have not done anything else.
Well, the concrete blocks are there now. They were not there during the original violation.
Your Honor, I'm telling you the truth. That all happened simultaneously, from us getting the initial citation, and within a week of that. We have not done anything since then.
All right. I don't understand. I know all the challenges that everybody's facing, and Durham is no different than any other county agency. It's a trouble. It's a challenge to work with them. But at some point, they've got to decide, the plans are fine.
I can't hear anything. He's frozen. Magistrate, you're frozen. I am not hearing anything at this time.
Magistrate, we can see you. You appear to be unfrozen now.
Okay. So where are we?
You were saying that
in that process.
I don't even know how to interpret the paperwork, but I submitted to everyone in that email a few days ago showing where we are in the process. I believe the last time Durham made an entry was August 8th, and it referred to Wausau. I also submitted the receipts of everything I've been paying in terms of the fees for Wausau. So I am making progress. It needs a rework.
Special Magistrate and also Ms. Shim, as I spoke to you on the phone several times, and I encourage you to go to the building department and have a conversation with them and take them all of the documentation that you have for Miami-Dade Sewer. When I'm looking at the permit was applied January 7, 2021. It is now expired. It expired on July 6, 2021. And as I go through the screen of the building department, it states that, and I'm looking away from the screen because I'm looking at that. There were no upfront fees collected for that permit. Now, as of January 7th, it says out to Durham and or fire, January 7, 2021. So apparently whatever documentation that you have that was out, it was not returned to the building department. So this is why I was stressing to you over the phone that it's imperative that
as of January 7th, they're saying nothing. And I've spoken to someone at Durham who says the architects now have the. So what is that? I'm not understanding. If Durham, what is the notations that I submitted a few days ago from Durham's website? What is that?
Remember,
showing?
that's a prerequisite, and I don't work for the building department, so I can't attest to that. But I know that a lot of documentation dealing with Durham is a prerequisite to you obtaining the actual permit for the work that you had already started. And if that paperwork never makes it to the city of North Miami, it stagnates the whole process. So that's why I kept after you saying, hey, speak with your contractor, have them go down there, find out what's going on, because our building department, we still have been going from day to day. There was no days, very little days that we were not in operation due to COVID.
Okay, so I'm telling you I understand. Well, I think I understand what you're saying, but I'm going by what's reflected on the Wausau website, which shows the movement in regards to the permits being approved. That's what I'm going by, and before it can be submitted to North Miami, everything has to be done. And the last note was on August 8th for the rework of Wausau. So my engineer, who's an architect, has not gotten back to me because I've been really pushing him to find out exactly what's happening. I think that he is probably working on a number of things and hasn't prioritized my drawings for resubmission. So I'm, again, every day sending him an email, texting him, but I am trying my best. I don't know what else to do right now.
Well, I know you're trying, ma'am, but there comes a time when the city needs to act. And the city has been patient, and maybe you need your engineer to move a little quicker. Maybe you need a new engineer. Maybe you don't understand the process all that well. You need to go to the building department. Maybe they can explain things to you better. The permit has expired, correct?
Well, even that, Your Honor, because yes, you're right. I did try. I don't know, not the time before in June when I had a hearing. I tried going to Wausau. I tried calling. I don't. I don't even know where the office is. I tried numerous departments. I couldn't get through. It's like they're a mystery.
Well, ma'am, it's almost like, you know, you're sick and you're trying to be your own doctor and do your own surgery. Maybe you need somebody to help you through the process. Maybe the engineer needs to move, you know, a little bit more quickly, or you need to hire someone else. That's not the city's problem. The city has given you more than enough time to get these improvements done. And I thought I saw the code officer. He wanted to say something.
Yes. What she's saying is correct. We don't have control of what's going on in Miami-Dade County. So if it's still there, there's nothing going to happen until it's clear from there. Then it comes here. I have nothing to do with the building department. Once it's signed out and go to Durham on fire, yes, it take a long time there, and there's nothing can be done until they release the file.
All right, so we're not going to keep going back and forth.
Magistrate, one question. No, is there an advocate for North Miami for residents? Is there an advocate that the city of North Miami has that maybe can help?
That may be, but that's not something that I can answer.
Okay.
You can talk to the code officer after the meeting, and maybe he can help you through the system. But for purposes of my role here as the special magistrate, based on all of the testimony and all the records and everything I've reviewed, that you're still out of compliance. And so I am going to ratify the fines that have accrued to date in the amount of $250 and assess costs in favor of the city. Your continued failure to comply will expose you to an additional fine of $250 a day. So every day that goes by, you're going to be fined. So you need to sit down with the code officer and/or the building department to figure out how you get this thing resolved. Once everything is resolved and you have all your permits, then you can come back and sit with the city manager or his or her representative and try to work out some reduction of the fine or mitigation of the fine. But I have no choice but to ratify the fines and assess the cost in favor of the city, because I have no other alternative. You're not in compliance. So therefore, that's my ruling, and I hope the city can help this lady through the process of getting Durham and getting the building department to issue the necessary permits. With that said, let's move on to the next case.
The next case on the agenda is Marjorie E. Tapia and Elizabeth. Case number MHVIO 2019-00447. This case was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of February 4th of 2021. The fine set was $300. The property address is 525 Northwest 134th Street. The officer on the case is Gary Beswick.
Hi, good morning.
Can you give me a case number, please?
It would have been number 7, but it's Marjorie E. Tapia is the name in alphabetical order.
It's number 16 on the old agenda, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, got it.
Ms. Tapia, can you please raise your right hand so that I can swear you in? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give in each proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami. I spoke briefly this morning with your permit runner. Could you give us an update on the permitting?
Yes, I believe she's being in constant communication with you, Gary. I believe they were waiting for something, her and also the engineer, that he's also present today. I don't know if he can join us. His name is Masu.
Yeah, can I speak to him?
Masu? I don't see a Masu.
Let me, hold on.
The first name is Masu.
Yes, Masu.
I don't see that name unless I have a 908 number signed in. Could that be him?
Give me 1 second.
If you're here on behalf of this case, can you just click the raise hand feature so that I can acknowledge you? Special Magistrate, did you? I think we lost the magistrate.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
All right. Special Magistrate, are you there? Marjorie, it's probably a good time to call your person until the magistrate reconnects.
His phone number ends with 9995. Let me call him. One second.
We see you now, Special Magistrate.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I just lost the picture.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. All right. I got caught off when the property owner was making a statement.
I think he's raising his hand right now, so you guys can hear him.
I don't see anybody here.
Can you see me?
Yes.
We can see you, Magistrate. So there's another individual that that Ms. Tapia is inviting into the meeting, but I don't see that individual here in the queue.
Oh my God. Is he's the number 908-642-3954?
Okay. Well, he's not signed in with video or anything, so I can't even. He's not properly signed in. He's going to need to have video and audio.
Oh my God. Sorry? No, but you need to talk to them as well. They need to see you through video.
Hello.
Hold on a second. See if they're trying to
Is the car ready?
get it done.
I'll be there in a couple hours. Bye.
Will you be able to do it, Masu? You see them now? Oh, perfect. There it is.
Sir, can you please raise your right hand so that I can swear you in? Do you solemnly? I need your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give in each proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. My name is Gary Bazil from the City of North Miami Building Department. Are you the engineer, the architect? What are you? Are the contractor?
Yes, I'm the engineer working on the plans. We did the plans for the property. So we submitted all the plans to the city, and then they requested us to submit them to the DERM and impact fee on Miami-Dade unincorporated building department. And then the problem was that when we submitted to the DERM and impact fee, they requested for over $2,000 impact fee for the area that we are legalizing, because before we had the area as a bedroom, and then the owner couldn't afford the payment. So in order to resolve the problem, owner want to use the space as a storage to reduce the amount of impact fee. So in order to do that, we had to change the plans. We made the changes on the plans, and we had back and forth with the city. We had some back and forth with the city, and that was the whole reason that it took longer than expected.
So did you make a correction to change that space from a bedroom to a storage room? The correction already made?
The corrections already made. So all we are requesting is giving us another 30 or 45 days, please, to get this resolved, make the revisions, and then get this approved.
Okay, that's fine with me, Magistrate.
All right. What's the issue with the impact fee? I don't understand why there's an impact fee.
When we saw this was part of the building before, right? It was like a garage area or a carport or garage area that the previous owner, not even Miss Marjorie, previous owner converted that to an enclosed area. They removed the garage door and they put it part of the house. So when the city of North Miami requested to send the plans to Miami-Dade, we sent it to the Dearman impact fee. Impact fee was requesting a lot of money because they said if you have it as a bedroom, they requested more than $2,000 from the owner. That owner had hard time to pay that fee during this situation. So we had some back and forth. We told them what is the next option. Of course, owner doesn't want to remove it because it was part of the building from the time that he purchased. It was part of the house. So they said that you can change it to the storage, not use it as a bedroom. So we changed it as a storage. We changed the plans with some back and forth with the Dearman impact fees. Now we submitted the revision. So all we need is another 30, 45 days to finish this. This is almost the end. The whole reason was more than expected. That was the back and forth with the Dearman impact fees.
I was always under the impression, maybe I'm wrong, that impact fees were not due on single family homes, but I guess you're telling me differently.
No, they requested more than $2,000 from impact fee by the time when we had it as a bedroom.
All right, I understand that. So you're requesting 30 days?
Can you give us 45, please?
I guess if it's acceptable to Mr. Beswick.
That's fine with me.
Okay, you got 45 days.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay. Table for 45 days. Next case.
Thank you.
The next case on the agenda is 2100 Alamanda LLC, case number CEBPR 2021-00005. It was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of July the 8th of 2021. The fine set was $100. The property address is 2100 Alamanda Drive, and the officer is Shanna Sanders. James Estimable is the gentleman in the Zoom for this meeting.
Madam Clerk, I think that the fine set is incorrect. I think
let me check it.
You need to go check. I believe I signed that order, and I believe the fine was $500, not $100.
Okay. Let me check.
Mr. Estimable James, I apologize for the mispronunciation of your name. Please enable your video and audio.
Yes, you are correct, Magistrate.
Okay. So who's the owner?
Hello, I'm the contractor. For the owner, I'm the representative.
All right. You need to show me why you did not correct this violation by July 8th?
Magistrate, I'm going to swear him in first, please.
Okay.
Sir, can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give in each proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Please say I do.
I did.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. Yes.
Question?
We submitted for permitting. For the stucco, we're waiting. We submitted for permitting for the stucco. We're waiting for approval from the city.
All right. I didn't hear the beginning of your comments. Can you repeat?
We submitted for permitting, I think in June, and we're waiting for the city approval. And we also paid the fine of the $500 as soon as we heard about the violation.
You paid a $500 fine?
Yes.
Okay. What do you, Madam Code Officer or Ms. Patterson, the property owner paid $500 before?
I'm not certain how that could be possible. It's not a citation. Clerk, can you confirm?
There are no fees collected on this particular case?
Yeah, this is not a citation. So.
Oh, okay. Is this we as the GC, went ahead and paid the violation. We didn't want no additional fees to incur. So
who did you pay?
We went to the clerk.
What clerk?
The city clerk.
Director Patterson and Special Magistrate, he's referring to another violation. He has several things going on at this property, not just for the stucco. He was issued a notice of violation for the stucco, but upon reinspection, he was doing more work at the property for interior work being done. So he was issued a civil violation ticket for that. So that's what he's referring to as per what he paid a $500 ticket for it, not for this violation.
Okay, so you're referring to a completely different issue.
Oh, right. That's not before today.
Correct.
All right. So, Ms. Sanders, the property owner says he's filed for plans. He's waiting on permits. What is your recommendation?
I recommend that we go ahead and move forward with the fines. This violation has been open since April. Honestly, and it's been going on really since February or May when I first was transitioning from the east side of the city. I noticed work going on the property. I had a couple of conversations with him as well as another gentleman at the property stating they were getting permits, things of that nature. They were new to the city, so I allowed time. But long story short, it's been February, March since this violation has taken place. It's now August, mid-August, and still no violations have been obtained. I am showing, as he stated, he submitted an application, but it's been denied, and it seemed like it takes a month and a half, 2 months for him to pick up the permits to make any revisions. So maybe with a fine being assessed, it may give them a little push to go ahead and see what's going on with those permits and get them secured.
Yeah, I agree. Sir, I'm going to give you a chance to respond, but I agree, you know, an adjudication has to mean something. And when I set an abatement date of July 8th, and here we are in the middle of August, and you don't even have a valid application, it shows to me like you're not being diligent, like you're treating this in a careless manner. So why shouldn't I ratify the fines and start accruing daily fines?
No, because we submitted for permitting, because at first we weren't aware there were violations. As soon as we were aware there were violations, we went up process and submitted the permit for the stucco and then also for the interior drywall repair. And then there were comments. We replied back. They wanted an appraisal. We submitted the appraisal after the last hearing, and we're waiting for the city to approve. So it's been almost close to a month. The city has the appraisal. We're just waiting for them to approve.
Yeah, I'm not asking about the appraisal. I'm asking about the building permit plans.
No,
Ms.
everything's
Sanders,
submitted.
yeah, Ms. Sanders, what is the status of the building permit application? It was denied?
Yes, I'm looking here. I'm showing that they submitted it in May. It was denied May 18th. They signed it. They picked it up and signed it out July 26th. So again, it's been over a month and a half for them to pick up permits and make revisions. So it's been denied. Here is stating that they failed due to some responses they needed to make corrections to the flood. It says needs to make revisions to the flood plans.
No, and we did. That's when we submitted the appraisal on the 26th, and we've been waiting for. I know we had a hearing on the 15th, and then we finally just got the appraisal. We went and submitted the appraisal. We're waiting on Durham to even email us or say that we have comments or not. So we haven't even got an email stating that we have comments at all. So right now we're just waiting on the city to indicate, oh, are we approved or there's comments.
And Ms. Sanders, what did the city do?
Well, I'm showing here so far, I don't see any new comments made. The last thing that was did was again July 26th, and that's when they signed the permit. They signed the permit application back in, stating that the appraisal, saying that they need an appraisal for a property search now.
Okay, so he's saying that the appraisal was filed. Has there been a response from the city since July 26th?
No.
Okay. I'm going to table this case for 30 days and bring it back and give me a status report at my next meeting.
Okay.
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 Thank you. Next one.
The next case is from Maria E. Rees, case number MHVIO 2020-00204. The property address is 1216 Northwest 123 Street. The officer on the case is Gary Beswick.
Okay.
Do we have a name?
Yeah, Michelle Montegundo.
Is the owner present?
Yes.
Please have her sworn.
Michelle, if you could enable your audio and video, please.
Can you please raise your right hand? Good morning. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give in each proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Ma'am, tell us your name and your baby's name for the record.
My name is Michelle Monteagudo. On the property, it shows Michelle Cuas due to my maiden name. Baby's Damien. And then I also have my husband, Carlos, here with me.
Okay, welcome. I guess the baby is probably about, 4 months old?
No, 2. He's 2 years old.
I'm sorry?
2 years old.
Oh, 2 years old. I thought it was like a newborn.
No.
Okay, ma'am, what is the problem with the aluminum fence? It seems like that fence is totally in terrible condition, and there's some other issues. I'm gonna let the city present, but how much time do you need to fix that?
That's not. I'm not sure we're looking at the same. Could you pull out the file from Kristen?
I'm sorry?
Hold on.
I don't think that's my case. It's I have like 4 open permits. I get not permits, but can you hear me or no? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Is the property at 1216 Northwest 123rd Street?
Yes, sir. But it's there. It's I put an aluminum fence
that I'm getting cited for to take out a permit because I didn't take out permits. I actually have several citations. I have the shed.
All right, I'm not looking. Yes, I am looking at the shed. My question was, do you understand the violations? Do you know what they're for?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how much time do you need to comply with the request that you correct the violations? That's all I'm asking.
All the paperwork is turned in. I mean, I would assume maybe 60 days because I do have to make a couple adjustments.
Okay. All right.
My biggest issue here, sir, was that there was a financial burden. So a lot of this stuff was done years ago, and I'm getting cited now. Yes, it's my fault. I should have taken out the permits, but the engineer paperwork alone cost me $3,000. I paid the fine, and I just paid a GC for $1,000. So I turned in the paperwork, most of the paperwork. I still have something else that's pending. If I'm not mistaken, from my GC, but I'm trying to get it done. Believe me, I want to get it done. I just, and we turned it in like 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago.
Yeah. Let me hear from the city, Mr. Beswick.
Good afternoon, Gary Bazil for the city of North Miami. I look at the property history. I see she applied for some of the permit, but I didn't see an application for the concrete.
Is that the only application that is pending? The concrete?
That's all. I didn't see anything for the concrete. I see other stuff that was applied for 2 days ago, as she stated, but I didn't see anything for the concrete portion of it.
Okay, so we're dealing with an aluminum fence. You showed me a picture of the aluminum fence that required a permit. There's an awning with electric, and then the concrete and the storage shed.
Correct.
Has she applied for permits for everything except the concrete?
Well, yeah, I didn't see anything for the concrete when I was looking at the file. So that's my question to her.
How much time should I give her?
60 days fine. Well, at this point, we're seeking an adjudication and abatement date. 60 days is fine.
Ask him if that's a permit or is that an
okay? All right. I'm gonna let the property owner speak. The city is willing to allow you to give you 60 days to get all the work done, including taking out a concrete permit, which is required by the building code.
Okay.
Is that a permit or is that the application?
It's for the permit to be issued.
Okay.
Okay, so you got a reasonable period of time to get your permits and to get the work done. It doesn't seem like it's really, it doesn't seem like it's a very complicated matter. So based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and the evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist, proper notice has been given, the property owner is present and has testified, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 60 days. In the event of non-compliance, there shall be a daily fine of $500 until the violation is abated or complied with. So putting aside all the legalese, ma'am, and Mr. The husband, you have 60 days to get the work done. You're not being fined today, but if the work is not done within 60 days, then the fines will start accruing at the rate of $500 per day until you correct the violations.
Okay.
Okay?
It'll be done before the 60 days.
I'm sure it will. But if you do everything within 60 days, there's no harm, no foul, no penalty, no violation. Just make sure that in the future, if you're going to do any kind of work of this nature, that you check with the city to see if a permit is required.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, so thank you. Next case.
Crystal, can we find out the last 3 participants that are waiting? They haven't answered me to tell me which case they're on, which case is theirs.
I have a Christina Buza, Maxim Mokolov. Christina, what case are you here on behalf of? I just unmuted you. What case are you here on behalf of, Christina?
She's muted.
Christina, there you
Okay.
go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my case number is CEGMP.
Can you give us your property address, please?
For sure. It is 1050 Northeast 131st Street.
You know, I don't have that case on the agenda. You may want to follow up with your code officer. It appears as though your case was either.
Okay. I mean, I have the. Do you want to see this paper for today, August?
No, just follow up with your code officer. It sounds like your case was in compliance.
Okay. How do I do that?
There should be a number on the paper that you're looking at. You can just reach out to the individual. Peggy, you're muted. Peggy, you're muted.
Sorry, I think
That's
I believe
actually one of Jose's
Jose's
case. It is.
Okay, so that was tabled?
Yes, they tabled all of Jose's cases in his absence.
Okay, the officer is not here, and I believe that the clerk should have reached out. We apologize that the code officer is not here. He's out sick, so your case was not on the agenda for today.
Oh, okay. So what does that mean for my case?
That means that it's been postponed unless you're in compliance. So you still want to reach out to the code officer and speak with him in reference to the issue. If you're in compliance, you guys can work through that before the next hearing.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you. Maxim, can you identify what property you're here on behalf of? Maxim, I just unmuted you. Can you please identify what property you're here on behalf of? Odilon Celestin, can you identify what property you're here on behalf of?
Maxim stated he's here from Mayor LLP, which is item 16 on the agenda.
Okay.
I can read his case into record. So it's Mayor MIARE LLP, case number CEPPK 2021-00003. The property address is 13200 Northeast 7th Avenue. Vanessa Willis is the officer.
All right, sir, if you can enable your video and audio.
Can you hear me?
Can you enable your video and audio, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine, sir. If you can enable your audio, that would be great.
Your video.
Excuse me, your video.
Sorry.
All right, sir, please state your name, your address, and your relationship to the property.
Property address 13200 Northeast 7th Avenue. My name is Maxim Mocholov. Last name Mochalov. I'm the property owner.
All right. Have you received the notice
I'm
of
sorry,
violation
Magistrate.
from the city?
I need to swear him in, sir, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give in each proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Are you aware of the violations that the city issued on your property?
Yes.
All right. Have they been corrected?
It's partially has been complied, and the violations has been given for several potholes and restriping entire parking lot with the building with the permit.
Okay.
So,
is this a single family home or a multi?
No, it's a multi-family.
All right. How many tenants?
62.
Okay. How much time do you need?
We patched the potholes, And regarding restriping, I want to find out from the building official if we need to just resurface the striping lines. Do we need to have a permit for it?
He probably will tell you yes. Mr.
Well,
Building Official,
Special Magistrate, I don't have any, if you would allow the city's testimony, I don't know if the code officer has seen any compliance, but with whatever patching, but I just wanted to put on the record the, what the severity of the potholes.
That's been fixed.
Yes, Special Magistrate
Vanessa.
Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Co-Compliance Officer. Property was cited to fill all potholes, pave, and restripe the entire parking lot. So Mr. Maxim did go ahead and patch those holes. The potholes are not as large as what was seen on the previous photo at this time. However, as you see on that photo, the asphalt that they put down is releasing from that area, or has released from that area, and so they would need to come back and redo those areas that have lifted. In addition, Mr. Maxim sent me an email stating that the building department stated that he did not need permits, but I was unable to confirm whether or not they had seen the photos to make that judgment call. So at this time, yes, he did do partial compliance, but there is not full compliance. And I'll let him speak to the paving of the parking lot, paving and restriping of the parking lot, because that is the other portion of the violations that were issued.
Okay, before I go to the building official, it appears to me that repaving and striping is definitely going to be required. And what little measures were done to fill in a pothole here and there are probably not going to be sufficient. So it appears to me like we're going, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Building Official, but it seems to me that this is going to require permits.
Yes, even if you just restripe the part. Am I on? Yeah. Even if you just restripe the parking lot, that requires a permit.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Taking account the potholes.
Yeah, but I've seen this type of work being done before, and it's more than just patching up some potholes. There's a lot of things wrong with this parking lot.
Right.
I see the cracks. I see other stuff there that doesn't belong. So what is the property owner going to do about that?
Well, then let's discuss a broader issue. So there is few things. We're preparing the property for renovation since the beginning of this year, and we run into the wall. The problem is the following. We collected all the bids to renovate the property. We have the bank on the standby to provide us a loan. The problem is the following. Previous owner acquired multiple liens on the property. And we cannot get the payoff amount as of April of this year. I contact through our regular channels city. They direct me to outside counselor. And since beginning of June, we cannot get an answer. So
you cannot get an answer for what?
We cannot get an answer on the payoff amount in order for us to obtain the loan and do full complete renovation on this property.
So you're telling I didn't understand everything you said, but you got a money issue? You don't have the funds to do the work?
No,
is that it?
There is no money issued, so we can get the loan. We have the bank on a standby. The problem is this property has several liens. In order for bank to refinance the loan, those liens needs to be paid off. Those liens has been acquired by previous owner by not fixing violations. Our agreement with the previous owner, that's once we acquired the property, within 6 months, we repair all the violations, which we did. They're supposed to make a payment, whatever their agreement was with the city attorney. Whether it's outside counselor or inside city attorney, I do not know. So now we're trying to get to the bottom of this because we're ready to do renovation on the property. And this is the problem.
Mr. Special Magistrate, if I can interject.
Yeah.
First of all, he purchased the property without acquiring an approved reoccupancy. That's one of the violations. The violations that are on the property are in the area of $2.5 million. So yeah, and the violations that are being accruing haven't been fixed. So he wants to put the cart before the horse.
Well,
and also the property's for sale.
Yeah, I get the picture now. Okay.
If I may say, Your Honor.
Yeah, let me just say, let me just comment. I am totally uninterested on prior liens, whether the property is for sale, whether the prior owner was guilty or should be paying or not. To me, those issues are immaterial. The one issue before me right now is that this parking lot is in violation of the code and it needs to be fixed. And I've done these kinds of repairs myself, and I know that you're not talking about a lot of money. This is probably, I don't know how big your property is, but this is probably a matter that can be resolved for less than $10,000. From what I understand, I just did a parking lot myself. So why can't you get a personal loan of $10,000 and fix the violation and then worry about the millions and millions of dollars of pending liens that you have that you're going to be negotiating with the city attorney on? I don't understand what the big deal is.
Okay, so then I cannot hear you clearly regarding the comments on the potholes. Is the potholes, did we fix that? Or you want us to do another resurface of those potholes? My understanding that the potholes issue has been fixed, we only pending restriping.
That's going to be up to the code officer, Ms. Willis.
Can we bring Vanessa to clarify that?
Well, let's clarify. Are we asking for simply a restriping, or are we asking for a re-asphalt and a restriping in order to make this parking lot in compliance?
There is a two-part compliance. One is the potholes, because the asphalt that was put down is already lifted from those areas. They would need to repatch it again. And in addition to that, I did cite him for paving and restriping of the parking lot as well. So the potholes is number one. Number two is the paving and the restriping.
Well, I believe also the building.
Okay,
I believe also the building official said. I believe also the building official did indicate that the repairs that were done, I guess the reason why they need to be redone is that they weren't done properly through the permitted process.
Right. If they're going to repave, then the pothole issue goes away because the repaving will fix the potholes.
Correct.
So the simple fix is you repave the parking lot, you hire a paving contractor, they repave and restripe the parking lot. It's a very simple issue. It doesn't require you to be a nuclear scientist to figure this out.
Yeah, I have no question about whether it's science or not. It's a simple deal, but we spent just on the other property, we pulled the permit and we spent approximately $45,000 for repaving. What I'm just saying is, if we preparing the building for renovation, if I can just patch the potholes properly and supervise that and do restriping, that's one thing. If I need to resurface the entire property, that's completely different thing. And I want to have a clarity. What do we need to do?
Ms. Willis?
Yes, Your Honor, that was the request, to repave, resurface, and restripe.
Repave the entire parking?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sorry, I apologize. I don't know what's wrong with my computer or speaker, but I could not hear you. That's why I'm kind of facing my ear to the speaker of the computers.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, so then I understood, yes. Then it's probably we're looking at the vicinity of like approximately $50,000 to $60,000. And my question, Your Honor, is the following. Again, I'm running into this, I'm getting run around as the owner of this property, right? In a way, I am pressured to, from a building department to make the property nice and comply, which we're not against that. But the problem is to allocate this money, I need to get refinance and do it properly. I can do resurface right now within 60 days. But then I think, in my opinion, it's a waste of money. Why? Because once we start renovating the property, we might going to have additional, damage to the concrete with the heavy equipment. Why do we need to do that?
Because currently this particular parking lot is in violation of the code.
Okay.
And I don't know how much space you have. I'm not familiar with your property. Okay. So I don't know how much space, but to me, that $60,000 estimate for repaving and restriping seems like a little bit too high.
It's a quarter of an acre of the lot.
How much?
I'm sorry, 1.5 acre of the lot.
1.5 acres.
Correct.
Okay.
And not all the surface is bad. There are a few patches that's been done. Hopefully, we can do the patch and restriping instead of doing the entire paving of the patch.
All right. So you know what you have to do to satisfy the code officer. The code officer showed me some pictures of certain areas that look terrible. Okay. So why don't we start fixing that?
Okay.
And then and see if that satisfies the city. And maybe you don't need to spend 60. Maybe you'll spend 10. And it's only for the benefit of your property and your tenants.
Okay, I understood.
All right. So work with her. And if the whole parking lot doesn't need repaving, maybe you can do a portion of it. I don't know, but you need to work with the code
I agree. No, it just from Vanessa, I heard a different thing that's repaving the entire parking lot.
All right. So what I'm going to do, maybe you can meet with her at the property, and maybe
that's exactly what we're going to do.
And you can come to an agreement and say, maybe this area needs it, this other area doesn't need it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 60 days to come into compliance with what the city believes is the minimum necessary to be in compliance. And if applied, then I'm going to start assessing fines. So how much time do you think you'll need?
60 days would be enough.
Okay. So based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the photographs presented into evidence, I find that the cited violations still exist. I find also in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 60 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $500 until the violations are abated. So please work with the city to get as much done as possible within 60 days.
Always.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're very kind. I appreciate your cooperation. Next case.
Crystal, can we find out who Audeleon Celestin is in the queue? That would be our last customer that's physically in Zoom or...
I don't think the person's not responsive, so let's just move forward, sir.
Okay.
If that individual, maybe they're just observing, they haven't.
That was 13695 West Dixie C&M Bakery.
Okay, that's the next case I'm going to call.
Mr. Celestin? Okay, that's the bakery.
Okay. So the next case is item 10, C&M Sweet Bakery, Inc., case number CEGMP 2021-00022. The property is 13695 West Dixie Highway. The officer on this case is Vanessa Willis.
All right. Is the owner present?
Yes.
Can he or she be called and sworn?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you turn on your video, please, sir?
Yes.
Can you please raise your right hand for me, sir?
Can we look at, we can't see you, sir. We're seeing the ceiling.
You can see me?
No, you got to stand up.
Okay, I'm too short. Hold on, give me a second. Now, stand up. Now. You see me now?
Yes. Can you please raise your right hand so that I can swear you in?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Please state your full name and property address for the record. My
name is Odilon Celestin. Property address is 13695 West Dixie Highway, North Miami, 33161.
Okay, you're here because there are some violations regarding the soffits outside, the roof, the fascia, the outside of your property. There's some signs that are deteriorated. I've seen the photographs. They look terrible. How long do you need to fix all of that?
I need 90 days because I'm in a process almost 3 years. I get beautiful plan for City North Miami and renovation. This project cost me so much. I really pay architecture, engineering for this building over $140,000 for renovation. But COVID coming and financial problem, that's why and this I back off for a little bit. But now I start do more progress, and I ask for 90 days to see if I can get all of my financial system put in a place. I have to pull a permit to just, but I really get architect, everything, everybody really in a place. One thing is missing, we just buy with some money to finish because project costs a lot of money.
Let me hear from the city, Ms. Willis.
Yes, violation was to repair, replace all deteriorated and missing soffits, roof, fascia, etc., and also to secure the deteriorated signs that are vacant. Basically, they've come into deterioration, and so I believe that some of the work can be done well before 90 days. I would hope that the signs and the covering of the signs and some of the deterioration with regards to the painting of the signs could be done well before the 90 days. So I'm going to ask Magistrate if we can do 60 days so that he can secure the permit and also start the work as soon as possible.
All right, show me, please. I've seen it, but for the record, can you show pictures of the property and the conditions that you described?
Yeah, just 1 second.
What number is it?
I'm not sure of the number. I know it's 13695 West 16.
It's 2021-00022.
There we go. So those are the signs. If you see to the left, the standing sign is in disrepair, and then the one on the top of the building. And then as you scroll through the photos, you'll see there's another one. And you see how the soffits are hanging there, the fascia, rain gutters, etc.
Let me see the debris that is surrounding the property? Isn't there
All
some
of that has
debris
been
there?
picked up. That's why he had that was a violation before, so that he had three different violations. All the other violations are in compliance, but this is the one that is remaining. So all of that debris that's there on the ground, that's in compliance. What we have left is the soffits that are hanging there, that are uncovered, and the signage.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Mr. Celestin, it doesn't seem to me that you're talking about spending a lot of money. This property looks awful. It's a blight. It really, if I were living in that area, I would be very upset seeing that every day. I'm not going to give you 90 days, okay? That's clear. But I want you to do everything within your power in the next 60 days to get more of that addressed and fixed. We're not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars here. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So then my ruling will be as follows. Based on the testimony and the pictures that I've seen showing that the violations still exist, the property owner has appeared. I find in favor of the city and I enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 60 days. In the event of non-compliance, there shall be a daily fine of $500 until the violation is abated or complied with. So that's my ruling, and we're ready to move on to, I guess, the final case, or do we have more?
No, we have quite a few more.
Okay.
The next case. I'm sorry, sir.
No, I was going to say that after the next case, I need to take a 5-minute recess. I need to make a couple of personal phone calls. So let's do one more, and then we'll take a 5-minute recess.
Well, Magistrate, we actually have just concluded all of our in-person respondents. At this point, the cases we'll hear are just our folks that have not responded to the city. So we can do the 5-minute recess. Actually, we can go ahead and dismiss the translators as well.
Okay.
I did this. It's 12:36. We can take the 5-minute recess at this time if you'd like, sir. Just advise when you'd like to re-adjourn.
Yeah. So according to my watch, it's 12:37. Let's recess at 12:45 until 12:45.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
The recording has stopped.
Okay. You're muted, magistrate, but I'm gonna go ahead and restart the meeting.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, I think we're looking at a bookshelf. It looks like you flipped your camera.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to turn it around.
There should be maybe an arrow that looks like a rotate arrow of some sort.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Just push the wrong button.
Okay.
All right. So these are uncontested or?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, the next case on the agenda is Nixa Serrano, case number CEODS 2021-00026. This case was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of August 1st of 2021. The fine set was $250. The property address is 12740 Northwest 13th Avenue, and the officer is Aaron Barber.
All right. Officer Barber.
Yes, good
You're on.
afternoon. Aaron Barber, City of North Miami Code Compliance. As stated, this case has been previously adjudicated. I made a follow-up inspection at the property.
Hang on 1 second, please.
Yes,
Give me
sir.
1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Hans. I apologize. I just had a call from the city attorney in North Miami Beach on a very, very important matter. So I could not ignore him. He's been trying to reach me on some things. So anyway, I'm back.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Again, Aaron Barber, City of North Miami Code Compliance, and this case has been previously adjudicated. Notice to comply was posted at the property, and I actually spoke with someone at the property. But as of the final reinspection, the violation remains. The items have not been removed, the outdoor storage.
All right, let me see that the picture again, please. Yeah, nothing's been done.
No, sir. Nothing's been done as far as the storage is concerned.
And when you spoke with the property owner, what did he or she say?
I just let them know that the case would be coming back before to be heard if there was no compliance. And, I let them know it appears to be a pretty simple fix. Just remove the items that are scattered around the yard. But again, as of the final reinspection, there was no compliance.
All right, let me ask the city attorney if she's still around. I have a question. Is she there?
Yes, Your Honor. Give me 1 second.
Okay. My question is that I had previously, I believe I previously set the fine at $250 if there was no compliance by the abatement date. Can I increase the fine going forward?
I believe so, yes. You have a discretion to do that, Your Honor. It's in your discretion.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ratify, based on the testimony of the code officer and the evidence presented, I'm going to ratify the fines that have accrued to date in the amount of $250. But going forward, as of the date of my order, the fines will increase to $500 per day, plus costs. And I authorize the city to file whatever liens may be appropriate under the circumstances. So to the present, the fines are $250, and going forward, they increase to $500.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The next case on the agenda is Dennis Karloff, case number CERCB 2021-00063, property address 710 Northeast 141 Street. Vanessa Willis is the officer.
Pilar?
Yes?
Are there two cases?
There's one case. One case was taken off the agenda. The only case that's open for this property is the CERCB case.
Okay.
Special magistrate, and that one at this point, this is Vanessa Willis speaking on behalf of CERCV case. They are now in compliance. Zoning just signed off and approved the variance for the property.
Is this the property that had a very nice looking trailer in the back? It almost looked like
Brito,
some of the
right?
What?
Like a Romero Brito on the exterior of the
I'm not crazy about Romero Brito, but I thought it was very cute, very artistic and creative. It's what's the it's not Midtown. It's what's with the other
like Art Deco. Yeah, it is Wynwood. What is it? Wynwood.
Windward. Yeah. Very apropos for Wynwood, but not so much for NMB. But it's creative. So I kind of liked it. And if planning and zoning approved it.
You froze, magistrate. Perfect, you're back.
Okay, all right. So we're going to dismiss that case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next case.
The next case is Emilio Grillon, case number CEWWC 2020-00040. This was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of August 1st of 2021. The fine set was $500, and the property is 12801 Northeast Fifth Avenue. Ed May, St. Louis is the officer.
Good
Okay.
afternoon.
I guess, the roof is still damaged.
Yes, the property is not in compliance as of the final reinspection, which was August 12th of 2021.
Have you spoken with the owner?
I have spoken with the owner. I've even reached out to him, given him information of where to find help. He was in the process of getting assistance through the city. However, he did not meet any deadlines, hence the reason why he was denied. And as of final reinspection, property remained in disrepair.
Based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the photographs presented into evidence, indicating that the property has been out of compliance since August 1st, 2020.
August 19th, 2020 was when the violation was.
The abatement date was August 1.
Okay.
So the property has been out of compliance regardless of since August 1st. Because it's still not in compliance. I hereby ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $500 and assess costs in favor of the city. The said fines shall continue to run on a daily basis until there's compliance. The city is authorized to file a lien for the fines. Next case.
The next case on the agenda is item 14, Lennox Blanc, case number MHVIO 2020-00224, property address 531 Northeast 141 Street. Gary Beswick is the officer.
All right, let me hear from the officer, Mr. Beswick.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami Building Department. Crystal, could you please pull up the file for me? Good afternoon, Special Magistrate. This is a new case for doing interior and exterior alteration or renovation without permits. They put in windows, they're doing bathroom work, and etc. As of today, there's no permits on file. The property was posted notice to appear on August 4, 2011. And at the time when the work was going on, I spoke to the property owner and informed her that she needed to obtain a required permit. But there's no permit that's been obtained as yet.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of this, the evidence presentation still exists. Proper notice has been given. I find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication. Set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $500 until the violation is abated.
Thank you.
The next case is Mercy Charles, case number CELDR 2021-00002, property 1065 Northwest 128 Street. Shanna Sanders is the officer.
Janice Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case for property address 1065 Northwest 128 Street. I originally cited this property under the LDR regulations for not having the proper screening around a house that is doing major construction. It was originally cited June 11, 2011, whereas I left a notice of violation on the makeshift gate. I didn't hear anything back from the property owner or any listing agents from the property. I re-inspected it in July. Still again, no activity or no contact. As of last week, August 12th, the violation remains in the same condition. The fence still needs to be replaced with the proper and adequate construction fence to be surrounded around the property. I am showing proper service was given. It was I posted a notice to appear at the property on the 28th of July, as well as a notice was sent out, certified mailing, on the 27th of July. As you're seeing here depicted in the photos, this is what the property looks like with some posts that's been installed at the property with some some orange lattice like fence that's barely hanging on.
Yeah, it's a mess. I don't know whether it calls for a stop work order or some other measures. It's certainly a danger to the public, especially children. It's unsightly. It's terrible. So based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs of the evidence presented, depicting that the cited violation still exists and the proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, shall be a daily fine of $1,000 till the violation is abated or complied. Did you hear all that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, because my screen tends to freeze every once in a while. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
Okay, thank you. The last case on the agenda is Westside Holdings LLC. The case number is CEPPK 2021-00002. This was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of July 15 of 2021. The fine set was $500. The property is 12168 Northeast 6th Avenue. Ed May St. Louis is the officer.
Just Code Officer St. Louis, if you could just show me the photographs, just to remind me.
This one was for the parking lot.
Okay.
However, they went ahead and just patched a couple of holes and restripe, but according to the violation, what was requested of them was not completed, which was to repave and resurface the entire parking lot, because when it rains, water sits in the parking lot. And initially the complaint came in from one of the tenants.
Yeah, that's clearly a messy and ugly and unsafe situation. Very unsightly. So based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and the evidence presented, depicting that the cited violation still exists and the proper notice has been given, I find in favor. Oh, this has been adjudicated already, you said?
Yes.
Correct? Okay, so I'm going to ratify the fines that have already accrued. Okay, gotcha. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the evidence presented, which includes photographs depicting that the property has been out of compliance since the abatement date of July 15, 2021. I find in favor of the city. I hereby ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $500 and assess costs in favor of the city. The said fine shall continue to run on a daily basis until there is compliance.
Thank you. That concludes today's agenda.
Okay, then I assume that we can adjourn the meeting. I did want to ask you, Pilar, if you could send me the dates for 2022, because in the email that you sent me,
The recording has stopped.
the email that you sent me did not